Chapter 2653. Although Ling Xiao was talking to himself, he did not hesitate in the slightest. The third strike of the Dozhan staff arts was ferocious and domineering, and its power was unparalleled. It was much stronger than the previous two strikes, and even Ling Xiao felt a strong sense of threat. Swoosh! Ling Xiao pointed his finger in the air. In an instant, the vast power of time surged. A mighty ray of finger light seemed to pierce through the river of time, through the past, present, and future. It emitted an eternal wave, as if it wanted to bury everything in the river of time. Age-extinguishing finger. This was the Flowing Time Emperor's Peerless Emperor technique, containing the power to destroy everything. Ling Xiao wanted to teach the Devil Ape King a lesson, so he did not hesitate to use the age-extinguishing finger. Buzz! 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 The age-extinguishing finger seemed to be very slow, but the finger light was dazzling. It seemed to vibrate millions of times in an instant, and it directly touched the long stick. Time seemed to have stopped. The age annihilation finger destroyed everything. That Supreme Emperor's aura instantly sent the long rod flying. Then, the finger landed on the forehead of the Devil Ape King, as if it wanted to pierce through the forehead of the Devil Ape King. The Devil Ape King's eyes dimmed. This finger did not give him any room to dodge. He felt the threat of death and killing intent. However, Ling Xiao's finger stopped at the Devil Ape King's forehead, and did not pierce through. The Devil Ape King could even feel the sharpness of that finger. It was extremely sharp. Why didn't you kill me? A complicated look appeared in the demonic Ape King's eyes. We have no enmity between us, so why should I kill you? Moreover, wouldn't it be a pity to kill a talented monster king like you? Now, can I enter the boundary? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Buzz! At this moment, before the Devil Ape King could answer Ling Xiao felt a strange fragrance enter his nose. The surrounding void trembled slightly, as if an incomparably mysterious energy had invaded his sea of consciousness, causing his primordial spirit to become a little dazed. A woman seemed to have appeared in front of Ling Xiao. Her red dress was like fire, and her white hair was like frost. Her face was beautiful, and her eyes were filled with a gentle smile as she looked at Ling Xiao in a daze. Brother Ling Xiao. Brother Ling Xiao. A gentle and ethereal voice echoed in Ling Xiao's ears. Jin Sei. Ling Xiao shuddered as he watched the woman in the red dress slowly walk towards him. His expression became even more dazed. What he didn't know was that the Jin Sei in front of him was actually the Bone King. The White Bone King was incomparably proud. Ling Xiao's strength was extremely strong, and even the Devil Ape King was not his opponent. However, the White Bone King still found an opportunity to use his powerful innate divine ability to confuse Ling Xiao's mind. Whoosh! There was a flash of light in White Bone King's palm. In an instant, a sparkling white bone chain pierced through the void and wrapped around Ling Xiao. White Bone King, what are you doing? The Devil Ape King's eyes flashed as he said coldly. Hee hee. Devil Ape King, you don't really want this kid to enter the barrier, do you? The 4 Grand Fey monarchs have ordered that no one is allowed to enter the barrier. Could it be that you want to disobey the orders of the Grand Fey monarchs? This kid's blood essence is so dense. If I devour his blood essence, I might be able to advance further. White Bone King chuckled. Is that so? A cold and indifferent voice sounded. White Bone King's face stiffened in an instant. You. How can you escape from my pink skeleton skill? White Bone King suddenly turned her head as if she had seen a ghost. Her eyes were filled with incomparable shock. The Ling Xiao in front of her was no longer in a trance. His eyes were extremely clear, and there was a hint of mockery in them. Oh no! White Bone King felt all the hair on her body stand on end. A strong sense of threat surged into her heart. She didn't even think about it. Her body flashed as she wanted to move back. Whoosh! However, Ling Xiao was faster. Ling Xiao, who had used the teleportation secret technique, appeared in front of the White Bone Monarch in a flash and grabbed at the White Bone Monarch's snow-white neck. "Get lost!" shouted White Bone King coldly. Suddenly, her slender hand turned into a sharp white bone claw. Her nails were extremely long and sharp. She directly clawed at Ling Xiao's head, as if she wanted to claw a few bloody holes in his head. Boom! Ling Xiao's other hand formed a fist print and punched out across the sky. The golden fist print was unparalleled, and it directly collided with the white bone claw. There was a burst of sound in the void, and the white bone claw suddenly turned into powder. Ling Xiao's hand was as fast as lightning. He directly grabbed White Bone King's neck and lifted her up. At the same time, a blazing sharp light rose from Ling Xiao's palm, containing a great destructive power. It locked onto White Bone King's head and primordial spirit as if he would directly destroy White Bone King's primordial spirit if White Bone King made the slightest move. "You! What do you want to do?" White Bone King's face was a little pale. Cold sweat flowed down her face, and even her smile became extremely forced. Ling Xiao's eyes were calm and indifferent, but White Bone King could feel the cold killing intent hidden under that calmness. Ling Xiao would really kill her. "You used the art of charm to deal with me, and even transformed into the person I care about the most. Do you want to die?" Ling Xiao's voice was so cold that White Bone King felt her whole body tremble. Ling Xiao was completely enraged. White Bone King actually transformed into Jin Sei's appearance, and even used the pink skeleton art on him to confuse his primordial spirit. Ling Xiao actually didn't notice it at all. This pink skeleton art was indeed very powerful. It was worthy of being White Bone King's innate ability. Ling Xiao felt that even if a Saint King was caught off guard, they could only be slaughtered by White Bone King. "Ling Tian, you can't kill her. She's one of Peony King's people. If you kill her, you'll offend Peony King. At that time, Peony King and White Dragon King might join forces to deal with you." Devil Ape King said slowly to Ling Xiao. "So what if she's one of Peony King's people? It's not like I haven't killed a heavenly venerable before." Ling Xiao sneered, and a trace of madness appeared in his eyes. "What?" Devil Ape King and White Bone King couldn't help but tremble. They naturally knew what Ling Xiao meant by heavenly venerable. A heavenly venerable was the realm of Great Demon King. How could Ling Tian say that he had killed a heavenly venerable before? "Ling Tian, I'm just joking with you. Don't take it seriously. You've defeated me and Devil Ape King, so you have the qualifications to enter the bounded domain. Let me go, and I promise I won't trouble you again." White Bone King forced a smile on his face. "Ling Tian, let her go. Peony King and White Dragon King have some grudges. As the saying goes, the enemy of an enemy is a friend. You've already offended White Dragon King. If you enter the bounded domain, Peony King will definitely protect you." Devil Ape King persuaded. He didn't know whether it was because of Ling Xiao's battle law or because Ling Xiao didn't kill him. Although he persuaded Ling Xiao not to kill White Bone King, he was standing on Ling Xiao's side. "The 4 great demon kings are in the bounded domain?" Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. It seemed that it was as he had expected. There was a big secret in the bounded domain. Genius memorized this site's address in a second. Mobile version website. Chapter 2654. Devil Ape King, I'll give you face. She can be spared from death, but she can't escape punishment. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Then, a sharp light flashed in his eyes, and he slammed his palm on White Bone King's chest. Puff! White Bone King's body trembled, and his chest instantly collapsed. His face became extremely pale, and he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. There was a trace of resentment in his eyes. She could feel that Ling Xiao had not been ruthless. This palm strike had only slightly injured her, but it had infuriated her. Ling Xiao's palm strike was a humiliation to her, causing her to feel both humiliated and angry. However, she was also a little curious. Just now, She used the pink skeleton technique to draw out the figure in Ling Xiao's heart. Who was that woman called Jinsei? She actually made Ling Xiao so angry, as if she had angered Ling Xiao. After Ling Xiao slammed his palm, he no longer paid attention to White Bone King. His palm seemed to be merciful, but what no one knew was that Ling Xiao had already activated a trace of heaven's might and integrated it into White Bone King's body. If that trace of extreme emperor's might was detonated, White Bone King would be seriously injured even if he didn't die. It could be said that White Bone King's life was already in Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao could be considered to have left a backup plan. Thank you, Brother Ling Tian. You are now qualified to enter the barrier. Devil Ape King breathed a sigh of relief and cupped his hands to Ling Xiao. If Ling Xiao really killed White Bone King, it would be troublesome. Once that crazy woman, Peony Monarch, went crazy, not to mention White Dragon King, even Pine and Cypress King couldn't do anything. Devil Ape King also didn't want Peony Monarch to go crazy. Master is mighty. I knew that Master's talent was unparalleled, and he was invincible in the world. Other than the 4 great demon kings, Master is the strongest person on Endless Island. The Kuei cow eagerly ran over with a flattering smile on its face, trying to flatter Li Mu. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so powerful. Devil Ape King and White Bone King were not Ling Xiao's match even when they joined forces. Ling Xiao's peerless divine power was deeply engraved in his heart, making him not dare to have any other thoughts. Let's go. Ling Xiao rose into the air and landed on the Kuei cow. The Devil Ape King and the White Bone King hurriedly opened the gate of the barrier, allowing Ling Xiao and the Kuei cow to enter. Boom! As soon as he entered the barrier, Ling Xiao immediately felt a vast amount of origin energy surge over, making him feel comfortable. He felt like he was soaking in an ocean of origin energy. His cultivation actually began to slowly increase. The Kuei cow also instantly widened its eyes. This. How can there be such rich origin energy and life essence here? The Kuei cow's voice was filled with surprise and excitement. In front of Ling Xiao and Kuei was the gigantic trunk of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. It was like a divine sword piercing through the clouds, and it was as majestic as a mountain. White mist filled the air. That was actually the rich power of the origin. It rose up as if it was real. The dewdrops on the leaves were actually the essence of life. Standing there, the Ling Xiao and the Kuei ox were completely enveloped by origin energy. Just a casual breath was actually equivalent to a month of cultivation in the outside world. Outside the barrier, there were endless thunderbolts and gales. They were unstoppable and exuded a powerful pressure that made the demon kings not dare to approach. Inside the enchantment, there was a paradise where one could cultivate to the saint realm. It was no wonder that the Devil Ape King and the White Bone King would stop Ling Xiao from entering the barrier. Even Ling Xiao would not allow an outsider to enter such a sacred cultivation ground. Devil Ape King, what is this place? Ling Xiao looked at the Devil Ape King and asked curiously. This is a strange barrier formed by the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. The reason why there is such rich origin energy is all because the 10,000 demons' ancient tree has absorbed endless energy from the surroundings over hundreds of millions of years. This place is occupied by the 4 demon kings. Without their permission, no one dares to come here. The Devil Ape King explained to Ling Xiao. The 4 demon kings, where are they? Ling Xiao asked. He did not sense any aura from the 4 demon kings. The 4 demon kings are currently at the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree, preparing to open the 10,000 demons' secret trove, the Devil Ape King replied. Devil Ape King, how dare you tell others about the 10,000 demons' secret trove? The White Bone King's expression changed, and he interrupted the Devil Ape King unhappily. It doesn't matter. Since Ling Tian has already entered the barrier, he will know about the 10,000 demons' secret trove sooner or later. He has the right to know. The Devil Ape King said calmly. What is the 10,000 demons' secret trove? Please enlighten me, Devil Ape King. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he asked curiously. The 4 demon kings were not searching for the 10,000 demons' fruit, nor were they searching for treasures. Instead, they were in the barrier of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. Ling Xiao had long suspected that something was wrong. It seemed like it had something to do with the 10,000 demons' secret trove. Although the Devil Ape King was arrogant and unruly, after the battle with Ling Xiao, he was full of admiration for Ling Xiao. He even felt a sense of camaraderie. Since the Devil Ape King had a good impression of him, Ling Xiao naturally wanted to get some useful information out of him as soon as possible. The 10,000 demons' secret trove should be the place of inheritance of a demon emperor. The Devil Ape King said slowly. The place of inheritance of a demon emperor? Ling Xiao and the Kuei looked at each other, and their eyes lit up. That's right. The 10,000 demons' secret trove first appeared at the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. Every million years, when the 10,000 demons' fruit ripens, the door to the 10,000 demons' secret trove will appear at the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. The 4 demon kings all want to enter the 10,000 demons' secret trove and obtain the inheritance within. However, countless years have passed, and the 10,000 demons' fruit has ripened many times, but the 4 demon kings still haven't found a way to enter the 10,000 demons' secret trove. However, this time, they seem to have some clues. I wonder if they can open the 10,000 demons' secret trove. The Devil Ape King said. If the 4 demon kings want to open the 10,000 demons' secret trove, why did the 2 of you stay in the barrier and not go to the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree? Ling Xiao asked. Naturally, we are here to guard the barrier and not let anyone else enter the barrier. Moreover, it's still unknown whether the 10,000 demons' secret trove can be opened. We can't help much even if we go to the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. The 4 demon kings are still accumulating their strength and preparing to open the 10,000 demons' secret trove. When the time comes, we will naturally go. The Devil Ape King said. Ling Xiao nodded. He was also interested in the so-called 10,000 demons' secret trove at the top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. The inheritance of a demon emperor actually appeared in this uncivilized land on the Endless Sea Island? Could it be a demon emperor expert from the dragon tribe in the ancient times? After all, the 10,000 demons' ancient tree had always been in the hands of the dragon tribe. The 10,000 demons' ancient tree and the dragon tribe were inextricably linked. If the 10,000 demons' secret trove was really the inheritance of a demon emperor, it was most likely the inheritance of a demon emperor. Chapter 2655. The Peak of the 10,000 Demons' Ancient Tree. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as he looked up. It was as if he could see through the layers of the void and see the endless void a million feet above. Ling Xiao could vaguely sense that there were 4 unfathomably powerful auras there. They were extremely familiar. They were the 4 Grand Monster Kings. However, Ling Xiao also sensed that there seemed to be an extremely large formation above the boundary that sealed the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. It contained an extremely terrifying energy fluctuation. It was as if it wanted to seal all the energy of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree in this boundary, as if the energy was leaking out. Interesting. Sealing the 10,000 demons' ancient tree to form such a sacred place for cultivation. Not only can it prevent the 10,000 demons' ancient tree from transforming, but it can also use this sacred place for cultivation to cultivate experts. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as he thought to himself. He increasingly felt that the 10,000 demons' ancient tree might have cultivated to the point where it could transform. If not for the 4 Grand Monster Kings, the 10,000 demons' ancient tree would have been able to transform long ago. Otherwise, why would the 10,000 demons' ancient tree stay in the demon city for so many years? However, if Ling Xiao wanted to reach the peak of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree, he would have to break the formation set up by the 4 Grand Monster Kings. If he did that, Ling Xiao would probably offend all 4 Grand Monster Kings at the same time. Ling Tian, this world has been blessed by the heavens and earth and is a supreme cultivation ground. You can cultivate here in peace for a period of time. If the 4 Grand Monster Kings can really open the 10,000 demons' secret trove, they will definitely inform us to go. The Devil Ape King said to Ling Xiao. All right. Ling Xiao nodded and said. The silly Kuei cow had already found a tree trunk with dense leaves and was lying there comfortably. It was refining the rich origin energy around it. The Devil Ape King and White Bone King also sat on the trunk of the 10,000 Demons ancient tree and began refining the origin energy around them to improve their cultivation. The battle with Ling Xiao had already wasted a lot of time. The Devil Ape King and White Bone King naturally did not want to waste any more time. They seized the time to cultivate. Just breathing here was comparable to cultivating outside for a month. With such rich origin energy, they could devour and cultivate freely. Cultivating here for a day was comparable to cultivating outside for hundreds or thousands of years. This was a great fortune. Since that's the case, I'll cultivate for a while. A strange look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. He distanced himself from the Kuei cow, the Devil Ape King, and the White Bone King, and arrived at the center of the barrier. In the final barrier, the origin energy was so dense that it almost liquefied into water. It even formed a terrifying origin energy storm that whistled past. The origin energy here was too violent. Even the Devil Ape King and the White Bone King could not withstand it, so they did not come here to cultivate. Ling Xiao sat down cross-legged in the middle of the barrier. Then, he began to use the heaven-devouring mystic technique. Blazing divine light rose from his body, and the heaven-devouring sacred domain appeared. The origin source energy there was extremely pure, and it was mixed with the majestic life essence. From Ling Xiao's point of view, the origin source energy there was not inferior to the origin elixir river in the coffin in the tomb of the Shifter Emperor. It might even be better. Ling Xiao had no qualms about using the heaven-devouring mystic technique to devour the origin energy around him. Rumble. The void shook violently, and the surrounding void trembled slightly. The vast origin source energy in the surroundings surged towards the heaven-devouring sacred domain like a torrent. The heaven-devouring mystic technique contained the origin of the heaven-devouring Great Way. It was an extremely powerful origin source mystic technique, and it was also the first supreme mystic technique that Ling Xiao came into contact with. He had lived for 2 lifetimes, and his understanding of the heaven-devouring mystic technique was the deepest. Ling Xiao had already cultivated the heaven-devouring mystic technique to the great perfection realm, and condensed the heaven-devouring sacred domain. Therefore, when he used the heaven-devouring sacred domain to devour the origin energy, the momentum was extremely terrifying. The origin energy that had condensed into a mist surged towards Ling Xiao's body, causing his body to shake violently, and emit endless rays of light. Bolts of lightning intertwined, and mysterious runes flickered. Countless precepts seemed to appear around Ling Xiao, causing his aura to become even more majestic and mysterious. The speed at which Ling Xiao used the heaven-devouring mystic technique to devour the origin energy was 1,000 times faster than that of the demonic Ape King and the White Bone King. Ling Xiao's cultivation had already reached the great saint perfection realm. As long as the saintly way origin root transformed into a saintly way tree, he would be able to step into the saint ruler realm. However, the saintly way origin root was the foundation. The stronger the saintly way origin root, the more complete the great path precepts that one comprehended, the more profound the foundation that one had accumulated, and the greater the potential for future growth. Although Ling Xiao had the Fortune Jade Disc, a chaos absolute treasure, and could comprehend the 3,000 great path precepts at any time, without the origin energy, the speed at which he comprehended the 3,000 great path precepts was not fast. Now, as Ling Xiao devoured the origin energy that the 10,000 Fei ancient tree had accumulated for hundreds of millions of years, his comprehension of the 3,000 great path precepts also began to improve by leaps and bounds. There seemed to be a chaotic void in Ling Xiao's body. His saintly way origin root emitted 9-colored divine light, and took root in the endless chaos. Precepts emerged one after another, gradually turning into precepts of leaves, and the power of precepts on them began to become extremely clear. From afar, it looked like a mysterious root that had begun to sprout, and 3,000 precepts of precepts had appeared, and they were all transforming into precepts of leaves. Moreover, Ling Xiao's life origin was becoming more and more majestic, vast and unfathomable. Originally, although Ling Xiao's life origin was powerful, there was still a limit. After all, even a saint could only live for tens of millions of years, and a lifespan and life origin of tens of millions of years was the limit. However, as Ling Xiao's body merged with the wordless heavenly book and the fortune jade disc, the limit of Ling Xiao's body seemed to have been broken. No matter how much life essence he devoured, his life origin would become more and more powerful. Ling Xiao even felt that the limit of his lifespan was more than 100 million years. Even a heavenly venerate could only live for 100 million years. If he wanted to break the limit of 100 million years, he had to comprehend the great path origin and break through to the Supreme God realm. Ling Xiao's current cultivation was already in the Supreme Saint realm, but his lifespan might have already surpassed that of a heavenly venerate expert. Rumble. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by blazing divine light, and all kinds of mysterious phenomena appeared, causing the surrounding origin energy to become more and more violent, surging into his body. Cultivating here, Ling Xiao felt that his cultivation had begun to soar by leaps and bounds. If Ling Xiao did not have the ambition to comprehend the 3,000 Great Path precepts, condense the Saintly Way origin root, and then condense the Saintly Way tree to break through to the Saint Ruler realm, he would have broken through long ago. Genius memorized the address of this website in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2656. Why is the commotion caused by Ling Tian's cultivation? He's only a great saint. Why is he cultivating in the center of the boundary? The Devil Ape King was alarmed by the commotion caused by Ling Xiao's cultivation. He opened his eyes and looked at the mysterious figure shrouded in origin energy in the center of the boundary. His eyes were filled with shock. Is he trying to break through to the Saint Ruler realm? The White Bone King said in disbelief. I don't think so. His aura is already in the Great Saint realm. However, there seems to be an extremely terrifying power awakening in his body. It's getting stronger and stronger. His rate of devouring origin energy is 1,000 times faster than ours. His cultivation alone is equivalent to over 1,000 saint rulers cultivating here. Don't tell me he wants to devour all the origin energy here. The Devil Ape King's expression was extremely solemn and filled with shock. The waves emitted by Ling Xiao's cultivation were too shocking. Lightning flashed across the sky. The chaos was ethereal. The phenomenon was shocking. How was this the cultivation of a great saint? Even a celestial venerable's cultivation could not compare to this. Moreover, the Devil Ape King felt that Ling Xiao seemed to want to devour all the origin energy gathered here. How was this possible? This was the origin energy that the 10,000 demons' ancient tree had accumulated for hundreds of millions of years. How could a mere great saint do it? Oh my God, is Master refining the origin energy? Why do I feel like he's a bottomless pit, devouring all the origin energy? The Kuei cow was also awakened. It stared with its bell-sized eyes and said in amazement. He, the Devil Ape King, and the White Bone King were all demon kings. However, the three of them combined could not compare to the commotion caused by Ling Xiao. This was too shocking. Buzz! The mountain-like trunk of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree began to tremble slightly. It also emitted a trace of incomparable anger. Like a terrifying storm, it swept in all directions, causing the surrounding void to become somewhat distorted. The Kuei cow, the Devil Ape King, and the White Bone King all felt a chill all over their bodies. It was as if their primordial spirits were trembling uncontrollably. An uncontrollable fear arose in them. That emotion was like the emotion of ants being stared at by a divine dragon. It was fear and despair. Why do I feel the wrath of the tree of 10,000 demons? Could it be that Ling Tian devoured the origin energy and caused the 10,000 Fey ancient tree to be displeased? The Devil Ape King said uncertainly. I feel it too. The origin energy was the energy that the ancient tree of 10,000 demons had accumulated for billions of years. Ling Tian's actions were no different from that of a thief. The 10,000 Fey ancient tree won't kill him out of anger, right? The White Bone King gloated. She naturally knew that the 10,000 fiend ancient tree was sentient. As the peony monarch's trusted aide, she naturally knew a little about the 10,000 fiend ancient tree's current situation. Even the 4 grand archfiends did not dare to provoke the 10,000 fiend ancient tree. Although the 10,000 fey ancient tree was unable to leave or transform, it possessed intelligence and contained boundless mental energy. If that spiritual energy turned into a storm, it would be enough to destroy a demon king's primordial spirit. The Kuei Ox, Devil Ape King, and White Bone King's cultivation was nothing to the 10,000 fiend ancient tree. The origin energy that they refined was not even a drop in the ocean to the 10,000 fiend ancient tree. However, the way that Ling Xiao devoured the origin energy was a little too terrifying. It was like a tsunami. The amount of origin energy he devoured was 100 or 1,000 times greater than that of a demon king. Perhaps Ling Xiao's devouring of the origin energy was not enough to hurt the 10,000 fiend ancient tree, but it was like being bitten by a mosquito. Since it had already sensed it, the 10,000 fiend ancient tree would naturally be enraged. Have I gone too far? Ling Xiao was slightly taken aback as well. A strange look appeared in his eyes. He naturally sensed the anger of the 10,000 fiend ancient tree, but he did not expect the 10,000 fiend ancient tree to be enraged just because he had devoured some of the origin energy. He was too petty. The origin energy was nothing to the 10,000 fiend ancient tree. Furthermore, the 10,000 fiend ancient tree had no use for the origin energy. All Ling Xiao had done was absorb some of it, and he had sensed it. 10,000 fiend ancient tree, you're the boss. Can I slow down my absorption of the origin energy? Ling Xiao muttered to himself as a bitter smile appeared on his face. He began to slow down his speed of devouring the origin energy. It was only when Ling Xiao reduced his devouring speed from 1,000 times that of a sage ruler's to 100 times that the 10,000 fiend ancient tree's anger slowly disappeared. Ling Xiao was not afraid of the 10,000 fiend ancient tree. He just did not want to attract the attention of the 4 demon kings because of the 10,000 fiend ancient tree's anger. However, 100 times faster devouring speed was still terrifying. The Kuei Ox, Devil Ape King, and White Bone King could see that Ling Xiao was sitting in the middle of the barrier. The void around him was vibrating, and the origin energy was rising like mist. It formed a huge vortex around Ling Xiao and surged into his body. However, the lightning and chaos anomaly had disappeared. After sensing that the 10,000 fiend ancient tree's anger had disappeared, the Kuei Ox, Devil Ape King, and White Bone King heaved a sigh of relief and began to cultivate. Just like that, Ling Xiao and the others cultivated there for a day. A few uninvited guests appeared in the barrier. Whoosh! 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 3 extremely powerful auras came from afar. They passed through the heavy thunderclouds and lightning. With a flash of light, they entered the barrier. They did not need the Devil Ape King to open the barrier door. It was as if they had some kind of power that could dissolve the barrier's power and easily enter the barrier. It's them. Enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. Ling Xiao, who was sitting cross-legged in the middle of the barrier, slowly opened his eyes. There was a strange look in his eyes. 3 Yao Kings with powerful auras entered the barrier. The one leading them was a young man in white robes. He looked extraordinarily handsome and his face was filled with a cold and arrogant expression. Behind him was a burly man in a black robe and a handsome young man with long purple hair. They were Bai Feng's Crown Prince, Black Tiger King, and 8-Pole King. Ling Xiao did not expect that the 3 of them would also enter the barrier. Ling Xiao discovered the 3 of them, and Bai Feng also discovered Ling Xiao, who was devouring the origin energy in the middle of the barrier. His expression could not help but change, and his eyes instantly became extremely gloomy. Devil Ape King, White Bone King, this is a forbidden area set up by the 4 demon kings. How dare you let him in? Crown Prince Bai Feng looked at the Devil Ape King and White Bone King coldly. Crown Prince Bai Feng, we didn't let him in. He barged in himself. White Bone King said with a bitter smile. Bai Feng, the 4 demon kings once said that if you defeat the 2 of us with your strength, you can enter the barrier. This is the order of the 4 demon kings. We are just following orders. Devil Ape King said indifferently. He was still sitting cross-legged and cultivating. His eyes were slightly closed, and he did not even look at Bai Feng. Following orders? Crown Prince Bai Feng's expression instantly became extremely ugly. At the same time, there was a trace of incomparable shock and disbelief in his eyes. Ling Xiao's strength was actually so strong. Even the Devil Ape King and White Bone King were no match for Ling Xiao. Chapter 2657. The Ba Ji King was ranked 3rd among the monster kings of the 72 caves. Although he had extraordinary spatial talent and was extremely powerful, it was said that he was ranked 1st in terms of strength. However, Crown Prince Bai Feng knew how terrifying the Devil Ape King and Bone King were. If they joined forces, the Ba Ji King would be no match for them. Crown Prince Bai Feng did not expect that the Devil Ape King and Bone King would be no match for Ling Xiao. He defeated the Devil Ape King and Bone King. The Ba Ji King looked at Ling Xiao with a strange look in his eyes. He knew how powerful Ling Xiao was, but the Devil Ape King's fighting staff technique and Bone King's pink skeleton technique were also extremely terrifying. He did not expect that they could not defeat Ling Xiao. The Ba Ji King suddenly felt that his crazy decision was correct. How can this bastard be so strong? The Black Tiger King's eyes were full of awe. Although his body was strong, it was still far from the Devil Ape King's. If the Devil Ape King used the fighting staff technique, he would not be able to take a hit. It was enough to see the huge gap between him and Ling Xiao. Crown Prince Bai Feng, we meet again. What's wrong? Do you have a problem with me entering the bounded domain? Why don't we have a fight? If you defeat me, I will leave immediately. What do you think? Ling Xiao looked at Crown Prince Bai Feng and smiled, revealing his snow-white teeth. His smile was very bright. However, Ling Xiao's smile was filled with mockery in Prince Bai Feng's eyes. His expression instantly turned extremely ugly. Ling Tian, don't be arrogant. This bounded domain was left by the 4 Grand Monster Kings. The 4 Grand Monster Kings are at the top of the 10,000 Demons Ancient Tree. If you dare to behave atrociously here, the 4 Grand Monster Kings will not let you go. Crown Prince Bai Feng said fiercely. 4 Grand Monster Kings? You mean White Dragon King, right? Do you think White Dragon King will appear if I beat you up here? Ling Xiao said with a smile. Rumble. He walked toward Crown Prince Bai Feng from the center of the bounded domain. His body was surrounded by majestic origin energy. His qi and blood surged, exuding an extremely strong sense of oppression. You. What do you want? Crown Prince Bai Feng took a few steps back and looked at Ling Xiao warily. Even though he had the 8 Extremities King and the Black Tiger King by his side, Ling Xiao was like a human-shaped Tyrannosaurus in his eyes. No one could control him. If Ling Xiao really attacked him, he probably wouldn't be able to do anything at all. What do I want to do? Didn't you say that I don't have the right to stay in the barrier? I just want to ask you, do I have the qualifications now? Ling Xiao walked up to Crown Prince Bai Feng with a smile and looked at him mockingly. His qi and blood surged, and a powerful pressure was released without restraint, causing him to exude an extremely terrifying dragon might. It was as if a mysterious chaos dragon had appeared behind him, causing the Crown Prince Bai Feng to tremble uncontrollably. It was as if the depths of his primordial spirit felt a sense of oppression. Ling Tian, you, don't go too far. The Crown Prince Bai Feng said in shock and anger. The pressure that Ling Xiao gave him was too terrifying. He found it hard to believe. How could a mere great saint stage powerhouse give him such a terrifying feeling? Moreover, what made him even more incredulous was that Ling Xiao's body was exuding such a pure Dragon Clan bloodline aura. Could it be that this person came from the Dragon Clan in the Demon Realm's mainland? The moment the Crown Prince Bai Feng thought of this, he suddenly felt a fire burning in his heart. The White Dragon King and the Crown Prince Bai Feng both possessed the Dragon Clan bloodline. However, their bloodline was not pure. The White Dragon King had cultivated for countless years before he reached the Great Demon King realm. In order to help the Crown Prince Bai Feng break through to the Demon King realm, the White Dragon King had used countless treasures. The bloodline aura that erupted from Ling Xiao's body was obviously much more powerful than the Crown Prince Bai Feng's. Even the White Dragon King's bloodline was far inferior to Ling Xiao's. Perhaps, this Ling Tian is the core genius of the Dragon Clan in the Demon Realm's mainland. The Crown Prince Bai Feng thought to himself. Going too far. The Crown Prince Bai Feng, what are you talking about? I just want to compare our cultivation. You're a Demon King realm powerhouse. Moreover, it seems like you've swallowed 1,000 demonic fruit. Your cultivation has increased a lot. I'm only in the Great Saint realm. Are you afraid of me? Ling Xiao said with a smile. He could feel the faint aura of the 1,000 demonic fruit on the Crown Prince Bai Feng's body. It seemed that he was indeed the son of the White Dragon King. He had refined 1,000 demonic fruit as soon as he entered the 10,000 demonic realm. Afraid of you? How is that possible? Ling Tian, this is not a place where you can be presumptuous. The 4 great demon kings are always watching this place. Do you want to die? The Crown Prince Bai Feng laughed in anger. Although he was wary of Ling Xiao, he was not afraid of Ling Xiao. The 4 great demon kings were at the top of the 10,000 demonic ancient tree. He did not believe that Ling Xiao would dare to attack him here. The White Dragon King was the most protective. If he found Ling Xiao, he would probably kill Ling Xiao directly. The 4 great demon kings. I'd really like to see the 4 great demon kings in action. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. Crack. At this moment, as soon as Ling Xiao finished speaking, endless divine light suddenly appeared above the void, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. Lightning intertwined, chaotic light filled the air, and vast origin energy surged. It was as if a huge vortex had appeared. It was also in an unknown place. Dazzling divine light sprinkled down. It was mysterious and dazzling, illuminating the figures of Ling Xiao and the others. A mysterious palace surrounded by 9-colored light looked extremely mysterious. It was like the palace of the Celestial Emperor. It floated above the 9 heavens, exuding ancient, vast, and mysterious fluctuations. Swoosh! 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 At the same time, 4 incomparably powerful figures were sent flying out of the palace. They looked extremely miserable, and their eyes were filled with gloom. An old man with white hair and beard, a beautiful middle-aged woman, a handsome young man, and a majestic and domineering old man. They were the Pine Cypress King, the Peony King, the Willow King, and the White Dragon King. However, the 4 of them looked extremely miserable at this moment. There were terrifying bloody wounds on their bodies, and they were emitting burning auras. Their auras were extremely chaotic, as if they had been severely injured. The 4 of them were sent flying out of the palace as if they were forcefully expelled by some mysterious force. Their eyes were filled with unwillingness. Rumble. At the same time, the majestic palace above the void suddenly had 4 dazzling words that were emitting blazing light. The Demon Treasury. Is this palace the legendary Shifu Treasury? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. The Crown Prince Bai Feng, the Devil Ape King, the Ba Ji King, the White Bone King, and the others were also attracted by the 4 ancient words in the void. Their eyes were filled with shock. Genius remembered this address in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2658. Father, you've opened the demon treasure. Prince Bai Feng was trembling all over. His eyes were filled with excitement and surprise. As the son of the White Dragon King, he naturally knew what the demon treasure meant. Wasn't the reason why the 4 demon monarchs had been guarding the Myriad Demon City and sealed the Myriad Demon Ancient Tree for countless years because of the Myriad Demon treasure within the Myriad Demon Ancient Tree? Unfortunately, tens of millions of years had passed, and the demon fruit had ripened dozens of times. The 4 Grand Monster Kings had also tried dozens of times, but they had never been able to open the demon treasure. But this time, they had actually succeeded. Legend had it that the demon treasure contained the supreme inheritance of the demon clan. As long as one could enter the demon treasure, he would be able to obtain the inheritance and fortune within, and even become the true lord of demons. Not only would he be able to rule the billions of demons on the Endless Island, but he would also be able to cross the endless Nirvana Ocean and head to the demon realm's mainland, becoming the lord of demons. This was an irresistible temptation to anyone. That was why the 4 Grand Monster Kings had waited here for so many years. We've opened the demon treasure, but we can't enter at all. The White Dragon King's body exuded a monstrous aura. His eyes were filled with unwillingness, and his voice boomed like thunder. This heavenly palace is the demon treasure. Unfortunately, the demon treasure is protected by the Supreme Emperor formation that can destroy everything. We can't enter. Furthermore, the Green Bamboo King and the others all died inside because they entered the demon treasure to scout the way. They turned into ashes. King Pine Cypress also sighed softly. What? The Devil Ape King and the White Bone King both exclaimed, their eyes filled with disbelief. When the 4 Grand Archfiends went to the top of the Myriad Fiend tree to open the Myriad Fiend treasury, they brought 2 Archfiend experts with them. Now, according to Pine and Cypress King, Bamboo King and the other Archfiends were all dead. The Devil Ape King and White Bone King were also terrified. The demon treasure was actually so terrifying. After hearing King Pine Cypress's explanation, everyone finally understood the terror of the demon treasure. It turned out that the 4 demon kings had prepared for millions of years and accumulated countless treasures. This time, the 4 of them worked together and used their strongest techniques to finally open the seal of the demon treasury. However, what they did not expect was that there was an extremely powerful emperor formation protecting the myriad demon secret trove. It contained the power of annihilation, causing the 4 demon kings to tremble in fear. The 4 of them were extremely cautious. Instead, they let Green Bamboo King and the other demon kings explore the myriad demon's secret trove. However, they did not expect that the life cards of the demon kings would shatter so quickly. In the end, the 4 grand demon kings wanted to join forces and barge into the myriad demon secret trove. As a result, they triggered the full recovery of the Emperor formation. If not for the fact that they were at the edge of the formation and did not charge in completely, they would have died in the Emperor formation. The Emperor Array was fully activated, and the Myriad Beast's secret trove was completely revealed to everyone. Who are they? The White Dragon King's eyes flashed as his gaze landed on Ling Xiao and the Kuei Ox. The White Dragon King naturally knew the Devil Ape King and the White Bone King. However, the White Dragon King felt that Ling Xiao and the Kuei Ox were unfamiliar to him. He did not notice them earlier because of the Myriad Demon's secret trove. Now that he glanced at them, he frowned. The Kuei Ox was originally secretly refining the origin energy to cultivate. However, when the White Dragon King glanced at him, he immediately shivered and complained in his heart. He hurriedly hid behind Ling Xiao. The Pine Cypress King, the Peony King, and the Willow King also looked at Ling Xiao and the Kuei Ox at the same time. Being stared at by the 4 demon kings, Ling Xiao's expression was very calm. However, the Kuei Ox was so scared that his face turned pale. He regretted following Ling Xiao here. After the White Dragon King knew Ling Xiao's identity, he would definitely attack Ling Xiao. Father, he is Ling Tian. The Crown Prince of Baifeng sneered. Ling Tian? You're the one who defeated the 8-Pole King. The White Dragon King's eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao condescendingly. His face was extremely cold. Naturally, he did not have a good impression of Ling Xiao. After all, the Crown Prince of Baifeng had been defeated by Ling Xiao twice. This made the White Dragon King instinctively feel a kind of hostility in his heart. Defeated the 8-Pole King. The Pine Cypress King, the Peony King, and the Willow King were also a little surprised. They had also heard that in the Demon City, a young man named Ling Tian had defeated the 8-Pole King. However, at that time, the 4 demon kings were all sealing the 10,000 demon ancient tree. They had no time to spare, so they did not see Ling Xiao. However, through the reports of their subordinates, they knew about this matter. They also judged that Ling Xiao was probably from the demon realm's mainland. At this moment, they saw that Ling Xiao was only at the Great Saint stage, but he was able to defeat the 8-pole king. This kind of talent was really amazing. My lord, the reason Ling Tian entered the barrier is because White Bone King and I joined forces to fight him, but we were still defeated by him. According to the rules set by the 4 lords, we can only let him enter the barrier. The Devil Ape King explained. What? Even you and the White Bone King were defeated by him? The Pine Cypress King was a little moved. The Devil Ape King and White Bone King were extremely powerful. When the 2 of them joined forces, even in the hands of a Grand Demon King, they could withstand a few moves. However, they were defeated by Ling Xiao, who was only at the Great Saint stage. Even though the 4 Grand Demon Kings were experienced and knowledgeable, they could not help but be amazed at this moment. Heroes come from the young. I didn't expect the genius of the demon realm's mainland to be so powerful. I really want to go to the demon realm's mainland to see how magnificent that mysterious world is. The Peony King said in amazement as her eyes wandered. With such talent, of course, he is qualified to enter here to cultivate. The Willow King also nodded. There was a trace of curiosity in his eyes as he looked at Ling Xiao. Seeing the expressions of the 4 Grand Demon Kings, Kuei could not help but breathe a sigh of relief in his heart. There was a feeling of pride and joy in his heart. The master was indeed powerful and talented. Even the Pine Cypress King, the Peony King, and the Willow King were so impressed. It seemed that even if the White Dragon King wanted to find trouble with Ling Xiao, it would not be so easy. It's you who killed my brother, the Black Snake King. Suddenly, the White Dragon King roared. There was a trace of cold killing intent in his eyes. Rumble. There seemed to be a dragon's roar around the White Dragon King, causing the surrounding void to vibrate violently. A monstrous murderous aura and killing intent burst out, locking Ling Xiao in place. The White Dragon King's words made everyone's expression change, revealing an extremely shocked expression. Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2659. The White Dragon King's younger brother, the Black Snake King, was actually killed by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had really poked a hole in the sky. The White Dragon King was extremely protective of his own people. He doted on his younger brother, the Black Snake King, and his son, the Crown Prince, Bai Feng. This had also nurtured their arrogant and domineering personalities. Who would have thought that Ling Xiao would actually be so daring? Not only did he cause the Crown Prince, Bai Feng, to suffer twice, but he actually killed the Black Snake King. No one doubted the White Dragon King's words. After all, when one's cultivation reached the White Dragon King's realm, he was already at the peak of the Saint Path. He was known as a celestial lord and had cultivated the Great Path law to perfection. He was almost about to touch the origin of the Great Path. Such a person already had the heart of the heavens and was able to see through the gods. He was able to see the real scene in an illusion. The White Dragon King must have sensed something, which was why he said that Ling Xiao was the murderer of the Black Snake King. That's right. The Black Snake King wanted to kill me, but unfortunately, his cultivation was too weak. Not only was he killed by me, but I also boiled him into snake soup. The taste was really delicious. I still have some stock here. Does the White Dragon King want to try it? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His expression was incomparably calm. Just now, he had accidentally revealed a wisp of the Black Snake King's faintly discernible aura. This was actually Ling Xiao's intention. The Black Snake King had originally died at the hands of the Golden Lion King, but Ling Xiao intercepted a wisp of the Black Snake King's aura before his death and released it at this moment. He wanted to see the White Dragon King's reaction. In other words, he wanted to fight with the White Dragon King. Everyone was stunned. The 8-pole king, Black Tiger King, Devil Ape King, and White Bone King did not expect Ling Xiao to be so fierce. Not only did he kill the Black Snake King, but he also made the Black Snake King into snake soup. The Kuei cow was about to cry. He did not expect this master to be so crazy. Not only did he really kill the Black Snake King, but he also admitted to everything. Was this not completely angering the White Dragon King? The Kuei cow trembled all over when he thought of the terror of the White Dragon King. He looked at Ling Xiao with deep resentment. "You deserve to die." The White Dragon King growled. His eyes were instantly covered with a layer of blood-red killing intent. Rumble. It was as if he had been completely infuriated by Ling Xiao. A terrifying murderous aura rose from his body like a black storm. In an instant, a huge fist print pierced through the void and blasted towards Ling Xiao with blazing lightning. Good timing. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a strong fighting spirit. Powerful qi and blood surged around his body, and purple-gold divine light surged. Behind him, chaotic mist filled the air. The power of qi and blood vaguely seemed to transform into a chaotic dragon, majestically following Ling Xiao's punch. It transformed into a ferocious fist that met the attack head-on. Ling Xiao's heart emitted a resplendent light as the purple aura around him expanded to a height of 30,000 feet. The power of the primordial immortal body was completely unleashed. Ling Xiao's gaze was incomparably sharp, and the blood in his body seemed to be boiling. He wanted to see if he could contend against an Empyrean with just the strength of his physical body. Crack! The two huge fist prints collided, and terrifying divine light suddenly tore through the void. The void turbulence surged violently, causing the surroundings to tremble violently. The terrifying battle fluctuation seemed to have made the 10,000 demons' ancient tree feel threatened, and it began to tremble violently. The origin energy even formed a terrifying storm that swept out in all directions. Oh no! Stop them! We can't let them fight here. Otherwise, not only will the 10,000 demons' ancient tree break out of the seal, but the 10,000 demons' secret trove will also disappear again. King Pine Cypress's expression suddenly changed as he spoke with an extremely solemn expression. Rumble! King Pine Cypress, Peony King, and Willow King all attacked at the same time. In an instant, 3 divine rainbows swept across the void, directly sealing the terrifying fluctuations caused by Ling Xiao and the White Dragon King, as if they were causing damage to the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. Ling Xiao and the White Dragon King both trembled at the same time. The qi and blood around them suddenly exploded, and the two of them retreated at the same time. This punch was actually a draw. What? This time, Crown Prince Bai Feng and the others could not help but change their expressions drastically. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao was actually a draw with the White Dragon King. How was that possible? One had to know that a heavenly venerable expert stood at the peak of the Saint Path, and his strength was unfathomable. Even if the 8 Extremities King, Devil Ape King, and White Bone King worked together, they might be able to withstand a few moves from the White Dragon King, but the final result would only be certain death. Not only did Ling Xiao block the White Dragon King's angry attack, but he was also not at a disadvantage at all. Oh my! Master is defying the heavens. The Kuei cow's eyes widened, and its mouth opened wide. It muttered softly after a long while. White Dragon King, my young friend Ling Tian, you can't fight here. This is the 10,000 demons' ancient tree, the place where the 10,000 demons' secret trove opens. If you fight like this, it will easily cause accidents. Quickly stop. King Pine Cypress said with a solemn expression. That's right. White Dragon King, who doesn't know what kind of person your brother is? Could it be that only your brother is allowed to kill others, and others are not allowed to kill your brother? I don't think this young friend Ling Xiao is the kind of person who will stir up trouble. If you dare to attack again, don't blame me for being rude. The Peony King sneered, and actually spoke up for Ling Xiao. White Dragon King, we'll talk about your grudges later. The 10,000 demons' secret trove is about to open. Whoever dares to cause trouble here will be my enemy. The Willow King also said coldly. The sharpness in his eyes was as sharp as a sword light, as if it had pierced through the void and pierced through the sky. It made everyone's heart tremble, and they felt extremely cold all over. My 3 lords, you all saw it. The White Dragon King took the initiative to attack me. White Dragon King, this is not the place to fight. Do you dare to follow me to the 10,000 demons realm to fight? Ling Xiao said indifferently, and his eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. The reason why he wanted the White Dragon King to think that he had killed the Black Snake King was to provoke the White Dragon King into attacking him. Then, he would find an opportunity to severely injure or even kill the White Dragon King. In Ling Xiao's opinion, the 10,000 demons realm was the best place for him to attack. In less than 3 days, even the 4 Grand Demon Kings would not be able to leave the 10,000 demons realm. If Ling Xiao could kill the White Dragon King with a thunderous method, it would definitely cause the King Pine Cypress and the other 2 Grand Demon Kings to be fearful and wary. At that time, Ling Xiao would meet up with the old goat and Taoist Wuyang, and perhaps there would be a chance to suppress the 3 Grand Demon Kings separately. As long as the 3 Grand Demon Kings were suppressed and the White Dragon King was killed, the entire Endless Island would be in Ling Xiao's hands. This was his greatest ambition. Why not? Ling Tian, today I must tear you into pieces to pay tribute to my brother's soul in heaven. The White Dragon King said through gritted teeth, and his eyes were filled with cold anger and killing intent. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2660. Rumble. At this moment, a vast and terrifying aura erupted. It was vast and contained endless origin energy as if it was the embodiment of the Great Tao. It contained an unstoppable aura. Ling Xiao and White Dragon King could not help but tremble as they felt an incomparably powerful threat. It's him. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he realized that the person who unleashed the aura was King Pine and Cypress. King Pine and Cypress looked very amiable with his white hair and beard like an honest elder. However, he gave Ling Xiao an unfathomable feeling and made Ling Xiao feel a strong threat. King Pine and Cypress was far more terrifying than White Dragon King. King Pine and Cypress, are you trying to stop me? White Dragon King's face was a little ugly as he glanced at King Pine and Cypress. He was extremely furious and was about to unleash a thunderous aura to kill Ling Xiao. However, he did not expect King Pine and Cypress to intervene. White Dragon King, young friend Ling, I'm not trying to stop you from fighting. However, can you listen to me? King Pine and Cypress smiled. Ling Xiao and White Dragon King's eyes flashed as they slowly withdrew their aura. They temporarily stopped their tit-for-tat confrontation and looked at King Pine and Cypress. White Dragon King, the 4 of us went through a lot of trouble to open the demon's secret treasure. Do you want to give up? If you die in the hands of young friend Ling, the 3 of us will not be able to break through the powerful Emperor formation. At that time, the demon's secret treasure will only be a flower in the mirror. We'll have to wait for another 1,000,000 years. King Pine and Cypress sighed. King Pine and Cypress, are you so sure that he can kill me? In my opinion, he's definitely going to die. White Dragon King's face was extremely ugly. He did not expect King Pine and Cypress to look down on him. I'm not looking down on you. I'm just talking about a possibility. Our top priority is to break through the Emperor formation outside the demon's secret treasure. You know that with the strength of the 4 of us, we won't be able to fight against the Emperor formation. Why don't you all listen to me and work together? After we break through the Emperor formation, if you're still willing to fight, I won't stop you. What do you think? King Songbai said with a smile. The White Dragon King's gaze was incomparably gloomy as he cursed in his heart. Speaking of which, this bastard King Pine Cypress was still afraid that their battle would affect the opening of the demon treasure. His intention was to let them put aside their hatred for the time being and settle it privately later. King Pine Cypress is right. If you want to fight to the death, then wait until we enter the myriad demons' treasure trove. Whoever dares to affect the grand plan of opening the myriad demons' treasure trove will be my enemy. The Peony King sneered. And me? Lord Lu said hurriedly. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He didn't expect King Songbai to think so highly of him. Did he think he had the potential to be on par with the 4 grand archfiends? Ling Xiao had originally planned to feign weakness and then find an opportunity to kill the White Dragon King in one strike. But now it seemed that the older the ginger, the spicier it was. King Pine Cypress seemed to be smiling, but when it came to scheming, it made one's scalp tingle. King Pine Cypress trusts me that much? I wonder if I should feel honored. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Young friend Ling has extraordinary talent and strength. Even if you're not as good as us, you're not far behind. If you work together with the 4 of us, it's very likely that you can break into the Emperor formation and enter the Myriad Demons' treasure trove. Are you not interested in the Myriad Demons' treasure trove? King Pine Cypress said with a smile. There was a wisp of wisdom in his eyes. Of course I'm interested. Ling Xiao smiled indifferently and said without hiding anything. If that's the case, that's for the best. Young friend Ling's strength has already gained the recognition of the 4 grand archfiends. Based on our observation just now, this Emperor formation contains the 5 elements creation and destruction force. If you want to break the formation, you have to gather the 5 elements and work together to find the formation eye and break the formation. King Pine Cypress said with a smile. Then, his expression turned serious. Humph. King Pine Cypress, I'm afraid this young man is too weak. He won't be able to withstand the 5 elements creation and destruction force at all. If he dies in the formation, we'll be implicated by him. White Dragon King snorted coldly. He knew that there was no way they could fight this battle. King Pine Cypress, Peony King, and Willow King were already on the same side. If a battle broke out between the 2 of them, King Pine Cypress and King Pine Cypress would definitely stop it. Moreover, White Dragon King had to admit that King Pine Cypress was right. The Myriad Demons' treasure trove was the greatest temptation for White Dragon King. For the sake of the Myriad Demons' treasure trove, he was willing to let Ling Xiao go for the time being. We won't implicate you. Although this Supreme Emperor formation is powerful, as long as 5 people with the combat strength of a Heavenly Master enter it and suppress the formation eye, they can enter the Myriad Demons' treasure trove through the 5 elements creation and destruction force. As long as we enter the Myriad Demons' treasure trove, we'll have to rely on our own abilities to obtain opportunities and creations. What do you think? King Pine Cypress said with a smile. King Pine Cypress is right. Although we were thrown out by the formation just now, we did detect that this formation contains the 5 elements creation and destruction force. 5 people must break through the formation at the same time. However, whether it's Green Bamboo King or Demonic Ape King, they're still too weak. They can't even withstand the Emperor formation's aura outside, let alone reach the formation eye. King Peony said with a nod. As long as we can reach the formation eye, we can rely on our own abilities to find the way into the Myriad Demons' treasure trove. This isn't dangerous for us. King Willow said. White Dragon King fell silent. Although he did not say anything, Ling Xiao could clearly feel that White Dragon King's killing intent was beginning to subside. Obviously, White Dragon King had silently agreed with King Pine Cypress's words. These 4 great monster kings are not good people. It seems like they've already found out how to enter the Myriad Demons' treasure trove. Now that they've seen that I have the strength to fight White Dragon King, they're saying this. Ling Xiao was a little wary. Although he was also curious about the Myriad Demons' treasure trove, his understanding of the Myriad Demons' treasure trove was definitely not as good as the 4 great monster kings. After all, they had all tried countless times. Ling Xiao also eliminated the possibility that King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow would join forces with White Dragon King to trick him. After all, the 4 great monster kings were not on good terms with each other. They had no reason to attack him for White Dragon King. Even if this was their scheme, Ling Xiao still had the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon in his hands. Even if he was trapped in the Emperor formation, he could still survive. Since there was no danger to his life and there was a chance to enter the myriad demons' treasure trove, he had to do it. All right. I'll agree. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. There was a strange look in his eyes. You're not fighting anymore? Crown Prince Baifeng was dumbfounded. Just a moment ago, he was still hoping that White Dragon King would avenge him and kill Ling Xiao. However, he did not expect King Pine Cypress's words to make Ling Xiao and White Dragon King give up the fight. However, he could only complain in his heart. He did not dare to complain to King Pine Cypress. If that's the case, let's go. I hope we can all enter the myriad demons' treasure trove. King Pine Cypress said with a faint smile. There was a trace of anticipation and excitement in his eyes. Although he had lived for countless years and cultivated for countless years, he could not help but feel a little emotional when faced with the myriad demons' treasure trove. Whoosh! 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 With King Pine Cypress in the lead, the 4 great monster kings and Ling Xiao instantly turned into 5 bright divine rainbows. They instantly soared into the sky and flew toward the ancient and mysterious heavenly palace above them. End of chapter. Chapter 2661. The top of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree was like a chaotic void. Endless chaotic mist filled the air and divine light filled the area. The void was distorted and various mysterious phenomena appeared. The 10,000 demons' ancient tree was like a world tree that connected the heavens and the earth. It exuded a majestic and terrifying aura, and its life force was extremely vigorous. On the crown of the 10,000 demons' ancient tree, a huge palace emitted 9-colored divine light. It was like the palace of the celestial emperor. It floated in the chaotic void, suppressing and eternal. The 10,000 demons' secret treasure. The 4 words seemed to contain the fluctuations of the great Tao law. It was like the might of the heavens, and it made people feel reverent. Is this the 10,000 demons' secret treasure? It is indeed protected by a powerful emperor array. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Standing in front of the huge palace, Ling Xiao could sense that the seemingly ethereal and mysterious primal chaos mist before him contained an extremely terrifying emperor's might. The emperor's might intertwined with each other to form a powerful killing intent that seemed capable of destroying everything. This was the power of the Supreme Emperor array. Ling Xiao had the inheritance of a great emperor and wielded an extreme emperor weapon. Although he was still far from the Supreme Emperor realm, he was very familiar with the extreme emperor aura. Ling Xiao could feel that the emperor array before him was extremely powerful and complete. It was not comparable to the incomplete emperor arrays that he had encountered before. Even an emperor could die if he was not careful, let alone a few demon kings. Everyone, I don't care what grudges you have, but before we enter the 10,000 demons' secret treasure, we must work together. Otherwise, we will all die in this emperor array if we have any ill intentions. When we enter the emperor array, there will be 5 areas that represent the power of the 5 elements' great Tao law. Each of us will enter one area and find the array I. Then, we will be able to enter the 10,000 demons' secret treasure through the array I. However, before we find the array I, we must withstand the eruption of the extreme emperor aura. Therefore, do not hold back. Only by finding the array I and entering the 10,000 demons' secret treasure can we be truly safe. Do you understand? King Pine Cypress said solemnly, especially when he looked at Ling Xiao and White Dragon King. King Pine Cypress, don't worry. I will not do anything stupid before we enter the 10,000 demons' secret treasure. I'm afraid that someone cannot withstand the extreme emperor aura and will implicate us. The White Dragon King snorted coldly. It's just an extreme emperor's aura. White Dragon King, don't think that I'm trash like you. When we enter the fiend treasure trove, I will definitely kill you. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. I should be the one saying that, right? White Dragon King said murderously. Alright, stop quarreling. Since you all know, then follow the direction we discussed just now. We must find the array core as soon as possible. Otherwise, if we delay for too long, it will cause the monarch array to fully awaken and we will all die in there. King Pine and Cypress said with a headache. Ling Xiao and the White Dragon King looked at each other. The murderous intent in their eyes seemed to have materialized. Sparks flew in the air. Then, both of them retracted their gazes and temporarily put aside their grudges. Their gazes fell on the palace in front of them. Rumble. A blazing divine light emerged around King Pine Cypress, and in an instant, divine chains of order rushed out of his body, erupting with terrifying fluctuations of power, shooting toward the palace in front of him. As if it had sensed King Pine and Cypress's aura, the chaotic mist in front of them suddenly became extremely violent. Bolts of lightning intertwined, and the runes of the law rose. A destructive aura spread out, causing the four great monster kings and Ling Xiao to reveal a dignified expression. Open! King Pine and Cypress suddenly roared. The divine chains of order exploded in the void at the same time, turning into a storm that swept out in all directions. The chaotic mist that originally shrouded the palace was instantly dispersed. Vaguely, everyone could see that there seemed to be 5 dazzling rays of light shooting up into the sky from the chaotic mist. They mutually reinforced and restrained each other, turning into 5 mysterious 5 elemental regions. Let's go! King Pine and Cypress roared. Then, in an instant, heaven and earth chi surged around his body. He shot out like a bolt of lightning, heading directly toward the earth elemental Great Tao Law region. Swoosh! Swoosh! Whoosh! Peony King, Willow King, and White Dragon King also leaped up at the same time. Peony King headed toward the Water Elemental Great Tao Law region, Willow King headed toward the Wood Elemental Great Tao Law region, and White Dragon King headed toward the Metal Elemental Great Tao Law region. Ling Xiao was slightly behind, but his speed was not slow at all. He headed toward the region that seemed to be burning with raging flames. The Fire Elemental Great Tao Law. This was what the 5 of them had discussed in advance. For Ling Xiao, going to that region made no difference, so he agreed readily. Crack! Ling Xiao was like a bolt of lightning, his speed extremely fast. He instantly landed in the Fire Elemental Great Tao Law region. Rumble! Blazing flames rose around Ling Xiao's body in an instant. The flames looked colorful. There were black, blue, purple, and golden flames that seemed to be able to burn everything. They contained the power of the law of fire. After sensing Ling Xiao's appearance, they rushed towards him in an instant. Get lost! Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he roared. Rumble! There seemed to be a wave of air around him, and a terrifying aura surged up. In an instant, the flames around him were forced back 100 feet, and a vacuum appeared. Ling Xiao's eyes were like lightning. He instantly scanned the surroundings, trying to find the location of the formation Eye. However, the flames were formed by the Fire Elemental Great Tao Law. They were endless and terrifying. Almost instantly, they rushed toward Ling Xiao again. In that instant, a terrifying wave of energy erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Purple gold flames spewed out from the pores of his body, containing the power to devour everything. Sky-devouring fire. As Ling Xiao cultivated the sky-devouring secret skill to perfection, his sky-devouring fire became more powerful. Not only could it refine everything, but it could also devour billions of flames to strengthen itself. At this moment, the flames formed by the Fire Elemental Great Tao Law around Ling Xiao were the best nourishment for the sky-devouring fire. They were instantly devoured by the sky-devouring fire. Ling Xiao traveled through the sea of flames like a bolt of lightning, looking for the location of the formation Eye. Rumble! At the same time, the entire Emperor formation seemed to have completely awakened. Bolts of lightning flashed across the sky. The black thunderbolts contained the power of destruction. The terrifying Emperor's aura swept over, as if it could tear the void apart and turn time and space into nothingness. Chapter 2662. This was the power of the Emperor array that naturally erupted when it sensed an intruder. This kind of power made Ling Xiao feel a chill all over his body, and his primordial spirit unconsciously surged with fear. This was the Extreme Emperor Aura, a power that only a Supreme Emperor could control. I'd like to see how strong this so-called Extreme Emperor Aura is. Ling Xiao's eyes instantly became sharp and dazzling. Purple gold light surged around his body, and there seemed to be a bright sun burning in his heart. His head also spewed out dazzling divine light, like the indestructible bone, exuding eternal and immortal fluctuations. Although Ling Xiao could block the Extreme Emperor Aura with the prison steel, he didn't want to expose the prison steel so soon. Moreover, he wanted to experience the power of this Supreme Emperor Ray. Boom! Ling Xiao punched out, and the fist print seemed to be able to penetrate everything. It was incomparably ferocious, and in an instant, it expanded like a purple-gold divine mountain towards the Extreme Emperor Aura that filled the sky. An indescribable majesty and domineering aura emerged from Ling Xiao's body, as if a Supreme Emperor had emerged, suppressing the heavens and myriad worlds. Heavenly Emperor Prison Suppression Art. Ling Xiao used the Heavenly Prison Scripture to activate the Heavenly Emperor Prison Suppression Art. At the same time, the primordial immortal body also erupted to the extreme, colliding with the Extreme Emperor Aura that filled the sky. Kacha! It was as if hundreds of millions of thunderbolts had exploded. Blazing divine light surged, and the great Tao Law surged like an ocean, tearing the surrounding flames apart and turning them into nothingness. Ling Xiao's Heavenly Emperor Prison Suppression Art was instantly submerged, and so was his body. The surging Extreme Emperor's aura was like a living Supreme Emperor, containing a terrifying power that could annihilate everything. Ling Xiao's flesh and blood were instantly torn apart, turning into nothingness under the Extreme Emperor aura. However, his bones exuded purple gold light, like crystals. They were his indestructible bones, and at this moment, they were humming. Under the crushing pressure of the Extreme Emperor aura, not only did they not shatter, but they were covered with a layer of mysterious light. At the same time, where Ling Xiao's heart was, there was a heart that was beating like the sun. In an instant, it gushed out a vast life source, and Ling Xiao's shattered flesh and blood instantly reformed. Crack! However, the surrounding Extreme Emperor aura was too terrifying. The flesh that had just formed was torn apart, leaving behind only a purple gold skeleton. Ling Xiao's head and heart were both glowing, because that was where the wordless heavenly book and the fortune jade disc had merged. It had an indestructible characteristic, and even the Extreme Emperor's might couldn't destroy it. Just like that, Ling Xiao's flesh and blood were constantly destroyed and reborn. An indescribable pain surged through him like a tidal wave, as if he had been dismembered countless times. However, Ling Xiao's heart was as firm as steel. Although his face was incomparably pale, his eyes became increasingly brighter. Although it had only been a short while, the life origin gushing out of his heart had consumed the energy of billions of origin pills to continuously condense his flesh and blood. Ling Xiao didn't have time to feel sorry for the loss of the origin pill. He immediately discovered that after the fire-attributed area was covered by the endless Extreme Emperor's pressure, a mysterious vortex had appeared. There seemed to be a strange flame dancing there, causing the surrounding Extreme Emperor's aura to disperse automatically. This is the Eye of the Array. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. In an instant, he shot out like a bolt of lightning, flying towards the strange flame. Ling Xiao didn't expect that resisting the Extreme Emperor's pressure would have such a benefit, allowing him to directly discover the Eye of the Array in the fire-attributed Great Tao nomological domain. Swoosh! Ling Xiao instantly arrived in front of the flame. It was a very ordinary red flame that was easy to overlook, but it had a strange power. Light and shadow flickered within it, as if it contained a mysterious small tree. Ling Xiao stretched out his hand and grabbed at the flame. The moment the red flame came into contact with Ling Xiao's palm, it instantly burrowed into Ling Xiao's body through his palm. Rumble! Ling Xiao instantly felt a monstrous flame surging up, making him vaguely feel as if he had arrived in the ancient mythological era. The surrounding flames were all formed by the flame origin, and they wanted to burn him completely and become a part of the flame origin. Ling Xiao's meridians were in intense pain, and his entire body suddenly burst into flames, as if he had turned into a man of fire. Moreover, the burning speed was getting faster and faster. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he instantly activated the sky-devouring secret skill and the 5 elements secret skill. The power of the 5 elements flowed around him endlessly, and the power of the flame in his body suddenly transformed into the 5 elements dharma and began to be devoured by Ling Xiao's sky-devouring secret skill. Ling Xiao's physical body seemed to have taken a tonic, and his aura began to soar instantly. Ling Xiao could feel that the holy path source root in his body represented the fire-attributed Great Tao nomological domain, and it instantly grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. It turned into a leaf, and flame patterns appeared on it. This also meant that his comprehension of the fire dharma had reached the profound realm. This is the origin of the flame. Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. The origin of the flame was the origin divine item of the fire attribute. Only by cultivating the Great Tao nomological domain to perfection and comprehending the power of the flame origin could one condense the origin of the flame. In other words, only by breaking through to the Supreme Emperor realm could one condense a divine item like the origin of the flame from the endless Great Tao Sea. The origin of the flame could allow one to quickly comprehend the Great Tao nomological domain of the fire attribute. Ling Xiao did not expect the formation I to be the origin of the flame. If I'm not wrong, the other 4 formation I's should be the metal origin, wood origin, water origin, and earth origin. Only by refining the 5 elemental origins in the formation I can one enter the monster secret treasure. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a look of understanding. This was because when he refined the origin of the flame, the chaos in front of him surged, and the extreme emperor aura slowly disappeared. A mysterious passage appeared, and it was the passage to the monster secret treasure. This might be the first test of the monster secret treasure. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He then took a step forward and walked into the chaos vortex. Boom! In the next moment, Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with dazzling light, and an ancient and heavy aura surged toward him. He was already standing in front of the huge palace. Looks like it's just as I expected. Since the monster secret treasure contains some kind of inheritance, this Supreme Emperor array is not purely a killing array. It must contain some kind of test. Ling Xiao looked at the huge palace in front of him, and there was a look of wisdom in his eyes. He should be the first person to enter the monster secret treasure, right? Please remember the domain name of this book, mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2663. The huge palace was ancient and mysterious. The words Demon Secret Trove hung above the palace, emitting a bright light and flowing with 9 different colors. Ling Xiao stood in front of the palace and slowly pushed the door open. Buzz! The door of the palace was easily pushed open by Ling Xiao. An ancient and desolate aura gushed out as Ling Xiao walked in. The door closed once again as if it had never been opened. The interior of the palace was like another world. Boom! Ling Xiao felt a vast emperor's aura descend, containing boundless great path nomological laws. It was like a mountain pressing down on him. Ling Xiao felt as if he was carrying an ancient sacred mountain on his back. His footsteps became extremely heavy. Most importantly, he felt that the saint energy and great path nomological laws in his body were suppressed by the emperor's aura and could not break out. This is an exclusion zone. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and became serious. He realized that in the palace, other than his physical body which was not affected, he could not use the great path nomological laws. He could only use the power of his physical body. In front of Ling Xiao was a huge space. Huge banners that were a few feet tall were inserted into the ground, flapping in the wind. Upon closer inspection, there were tens of thousands of huge banners. Moreover, each of the huge banners contained an extremely powerful fluctuation. They were ancient and mysterious, like some kind of supreme treasure that could suppress everything. Each of the huge banners had a different color. The black ones were like the sky with a murderous aura, the gold ones were as dazzling as the sun, the purple ones were majestic and noble, and the red ones were as hot as flames. The huge banners were branded with powerful divine beasts. They looked lifelike and exuded a ferocious aura as if they were about to come alive. Tens of thousands of huge banners danced in the palace. The powerful divine beasts' eyes were as sharp as lightning, as if they were about to come alive at any time. They exuded a soul-stirring aura that sent chills down one's spine. Most importantly, these huge banners looked the same. Other than the color and the design, there was no other difference. Why are there so many huge banners in the demon's secret trove? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a strange look. Naturally, he could clearly sense the situation of the entire palace. Other than the tens of thousands of huge banners, there was nothing else. Could it be that these huge banners have some kind of secret? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He reached out and grabbed a huge black banner beside him, wanting to pull it out. Rumble. Divine power erupted from Ling Xiao's body, and he could even pull out a mountain. However, to his disbelief, the giant black banner didn't budge at all. It was as if it contained millions of tons of divine power, and he couldn't pull it out at all. A huge white tiger was carved on the black banner. Its eyes were blood red, and its killing intent was overwhelming. At this moment, it seemed to be glaring at Ling Xiao. The Ling Xiao altar sent out a strand of divine thought to sense the white tiger on the banner. Roar! An earth-shattering roar of a tiger exploded in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, destroying his strand of consciousness in an instant. Vaguely, Ling Xiao seemed to see a white tiger that was billions of miles tall, roaring at the heavens and the earth, roaring at the chaos, wanting to rush into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. Ling Xiao hurriedly cut off the connection between him and the banner. Something strange. It seems that if I suppress the white tiger, I can control the black banner. Could it be that the white tiger is an artifact spirit? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of doubt. The white tiger was extremely ferocious and exuded an overwhelming aura, as if it was the ancestor of the white tiger clan. Its aura was extremely pure. However, Ling Xiao felt that he could suppress the white tiger at any time, then refine the black banner and pull it out. At the same time, Ling Xiao felt that he couldn't refine the black banner. It was as if he would miss out on an unimaginable opportunity if he refined the black banner. There was no basis for this feeling. It was just an intuition. I still don't know enough about the demon treasure. However, that old man, King Pine Cypress, must be very familiar with the demon treasure. He definitely doesn't know that I'm the first to enter the demon treasure. Why don't I hide first and wait for him to come in? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. He scanned the entire palace with his divine thought. Other than the tens of thousands of banners, he didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Perhaps a special method was needed to open this place. Ling Xiao's eyes turned, and the space between his eyebrows lit up. The Heaven's Might prison steel turned into a speck of dust and gently landed in a corner of the palace. Ling Xiao then directly entered the Heaven's Might prison steel. Although there was a forbidden law domain here, the mighty prison steel was an apex emperor weapon and wasn't restricted. Ling Xiao could still barely use the mighty prison steel's transformation technique, but it didn't last long. The palace became quiet and empty. It was as if no one had ever been here. Not long after, a stream of light flashed outside the palace. King Pine Cypress, who had white hair and a sage-like demeanor, rushed out of the emperor formation. After refining the origin of Earth, my cultivation is one step closer to the Supreme Emperor realm. It seems that I'm the first to enter the demon treasure. The demon banner must fall into my hands. King Pine Cypress took a deep breath and a trace of excitement flashed across his eyes. He carefully examined the surroundings and didn't find any aura fluctuations. He immediately relaxed and slowly walked to the palace door, pushed it open, and entered. King Pine Cypress also felt the suppression of an apex emperor aura. Apart from his physical strength and a part of his divine thought, he also couldn't use any great Tao principles. A forbidden law domain? King Pine Cypress frowned. Clearly, he didn't expect there to be a forbidden law domain here. There's really something wrong with this old guy. In a speck of dust in the corner, Ling Xiao stared at King Pine Cypress's figure with a glimmer of light in his eyes. He was extremely cautious. Since entering the demon treasure, he didn't reveal any aura fluctuations, so King Pine Cypress didn't notice that someone had beaten him to it. With the forbidden law domain in the palace, King Pine Cypress couldn't use the Great Tao principles. Therefore, King Pine Cypress couldn't sense the speck of dust formed by the mighty prison steel. Otherwise, even if Ling Xiao had the mighty prison steel, an apex emperor weapon, he couldn't guarantee that he could hide it from an unfathomable heavenly venerable expert like King Pine Cypress. Ling Xiao stared at King Pine Cypress's figure and watched him slowly walk toward the banners. Chapter 2664. The 10,000 Demons banner is indeed the legendary supreme treasure of the demon world, the apex emperor weapon, the 10,000 Demons banner. My thousands of years of waiting were not in vain. As long as I refine the 10,000 Demons banner, I will be the Lord of Demons, the ruler of the demon world. King Pine Cypress looked at the banners in front of him, his eyes were filled with excitement as he muttered to himself. Apex Emperor weapon, the 10,000 Demons banner. Are they the 10,000 banners? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as a strange look appeared in his eyes. He did not feel any Apex Emperor aura from the banners, but why would King Pine Cypress say that it was the 10,000 Demons banner? Ling Xiao had heard of the 10,000 Demons banner before. It was rumored to be a supreme treasure of the demon world that contained the fate of the demon world. It was branded with the origin power of billions of demons. The owner of the 10,000 Demons banner could control the life and death of thousands of demons. However, the 10,000 Demons banner was too old. The only thing that was recorded was that it was related to the Demon Emperor. Legend had it that the Demon Emperor's cultivation improved by leaps and bounds because he controlled the 10,000 Demons banner. He became an emperor and eventually became the ruler of the entire demon world. Ling Xiao did not move as he watched King Pine Cypress's every move. Since King Pine Cypress was sure that the banners were the 10,000 Demons banner, there must be something strange about it. Swoosh! 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 Ling Xiao saw that King Pine Cypress waved his sleeve after closing the door of the palace. Suddenly, a total of 81 formation flags flew out, intertwining with mysterious light and dazzling runes. Seal! As King Pine Cypress shouted, the 81 formation flags fused with each other and turned into a mysterious rune that sealed the door of the palace. Ling Xiao immediately saw through King Pine Cypress's intention. This old man wants to take the 10,000 Demons banner for himself. In Ling Xiao's opinion, the seal that King Pine Cypress laid down was extremely powerful. Even if White Dragon King, Peony King and Willow King joined forces, it would be difficult to break the seal. King Pine Cypress wanted to stop the other 3 demon kings and take the opportunity to refine the 10,000 Demons banner. Once King Pine and Cypress completely refined the myriad demon banner, even if the other 3 demon monarchs broke the seal and rushed in, they would have no choice but to bow their heads. Ling Xiao's curiosity was piqued. Why was King Songbai so familiar with the demon treasure trove? The myriad demon banner can only belong to me. I've been waiting for this day for too long, and I've been preparing for too long. This time, no one can stop me. King Songbai's eyes were filled with determination and even a trace of madness and fervor. Rumble! King Pine Cypress released a terrifying aura. Light flashed in his palm, and a huge crystal bottle appeared. It was filled with mysterious blood. King Pine Cypress opened the crystal bottle. In an instant, the blood inside turned into tens of thousands of strange blood beads and flew towards the banners. Each blood bead contained an incomparably powerful spiritual fluctuation. At the same time, it seemed as if the soul of a powerful demonic beast was sealed within them. In an instant, they fused together with the huge banner. Those blood beads are all demon monarchs' blood essence, and they contain the complete primordial spirits of demon monarchs. Hiss, tens of thousands of demon monarchs. King Pine and Cypress actually killed tens of thousands of demon monarchs. How is this possible? Ling Xiao's body shook violently, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Those blood beads contained an incomparably vast amount of energy. Moreover, the powerful demonic beast souls within had an incomparably terrifying aura. They contained the fluctuations of the Great Path Law. They were clearly the aura of demon monarchs. Tens of thousands of blood beads and tens of thousands of demon monarchs' souls. This meant that King Pine and Cypress had killed tens of thousands of demon monarchs for today. What were demon monarchs? They were super powerhouses in the Saint King realm. Even if the entire demon realm added up, there were less than 10,000 Saint Kings. Saint Kings were the overlords of an area, enough to suppress an immortal sect. They were not some random cat or dog that could be casually slaughtered. Ling Xiao could not imagine how King Pine and Cypress could collect tens of thousands of demon monarchs' blood beads and souls. King Pine and Cypress's aura became extremely dangerous. Ling Xiao could clearly feel that King Pine and Cypress's aura was unfathomable. It was actually several times stronger than White Dragon King's aura, almost touching the Emperor realm. Ling Xiao did not dare to act rashly. His expression was solemn as he stared at King Pine and Cypress's every move, waiting for the right time to strike. Since the demon realm's legendary demon banner was here, then no matter what, Ling Xiao had to find a way to obtain it. Rumble. Demon monarch's blood beads and demon monarch's souls contained an incomparably vast amount of energy. After fusing with those blood beads, the tens of thousands of giant banners actually bloomed with dazzling light at the same time. Thousands of auspicious colors, thousands of rays of light, and the terrifying divine beasts branded on them seemed to have come alive, roaring at the same time. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars, tiger roars, crane cries, fire phoenixes burning the sky, Qilins roaring. All sorts of mysterious phenomena intertwined together, making the entire palace seem even more ethereal and mysterious. King Pine and Cypress's expression was solemn as a terrifying aura rose around his body. In an instant, his body flashed with light and directly turned into an ancient pine tree. The pine tree looked only a few feet tall and was as thick as a bucket, but its bark was mottled and sparkling like dragon scales. Its branches were knotted, and its pine needles were sparkling and translucent, emitting a sharp light. The pine tree contained an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation. It gave Ling Xiao the feeling that it far surpassed the other three demon monarchs' aura, second only to the 10,000 demon ancient trees' aura. Is this King Pine and Cypress's true body? A pine tree that has turned into a demon? Ling Xiao sighed softly in his heart. It was not easy for King Pine and Cypress to cultivate to this day. If a demon beast wanted to cultivate to the demon monarch realm, it would have to go through countless difficulties and tribulations, and it was 100 times more difficult for a plant to turn into a demon. King Pine and Cypress cultivated from a pine tree to his current realm, only one step away from the Emperor realm. It must have been extremely difficult. Ling Xiao could feel that King Pine and Cypress's body contained vast great Tao laws, but because of the forbidden domain, they were all bound in his body and could not be released. Boom! Above the pine tree, there seemed to be a resplendent sun rising, containing extremely powerful spiritual fluctuations. In an instant, it floated above the hall and burned like a flame. Refine! King Pine and Cypress's voice came from the sun. In an instant, golden flames spewed out from the sun, turning into a vast sea of fire that enveloped the tens of thousands of giant banners. That resplendent sun was King Pine and Cypress's primordial spirit. Please remember the domain name of this book. Third Sect Masters mobile reading website. Chapter 2665. Ling Xiao could clearly sense that King Pine Cypress was burning the power of his primordial spirit to refine the banners. There was a forbidden domain in the palace, so King Pine Cypress couldn't use the Great Tao Law. He could only refine the banners with his primordial spirit. King Pine Cypress's primordial spirit contained boundless energy waves like an eternal flame that wanted to refine all the banners. King Pine Cypress has prepared more than 10,000 Demon King blood beads and Demon King soul essences. This means that he knows there are 10,000 banners here. Could it be that he's been here before? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as thoughts ran through his mind. He wanted to find an opportunity to snatch the banners, but he still didn't know what they were. Although King Pine Cypress was refining the banners with his primordial spirit, his physical body was also extremely strong and vigilant. It was almost impossible to sneak up on King Pine Cypress. Ling Xiao didn't believe that all the banners were 10,000 demon banners. An apex monarch weapon couldn't be separated into 10,000 banners. There must be a secret that he didn't know. Could it be that the true core of the 10,000 demon banners is among the banners? But King Pine Cypress doesn't know where the core is, so he wants to refine all the banners. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He felt that his idea was a little crazy, but it was probably the closest to the truth. After all, the banners looked exactly the same. Ling Xiao couldn't tell the difference at all. If King Pine Cypress had been here before, he must have tried to find the core of the 10,000 demon banners, but failed. Therefore, he wanted to refine all the banners. When the core was refined, the true body of the 10,000 demon banners would be revealed. Rumble. Inside the palace, flames filled the sky. The endless flames formed a sea of fire that enveloped the tens of thousands of banners. The divine beast marks on the banners seemed to have come alive. They exuded a terrifying aura and roared. The void seemed to be distorted. King Pine Cypress's primordial spirit fire was too terrifying. Ling Xiao could sense that the king's refining speed was very fast. Even though there were more than 10,000 banners here, it didn't take long for him to refine 10% of them. At this rate, King Pine Cypress would be able to refine all the banners in less than a day. I have to find a way to find the core of the myriad demon banner. Otherwise, once I'm exposed, I'll have to face the wrath of King Pine and Cypress. King Pine and Cypress is still manageable. Even if he can't beat me, he should be able to escape. However, there are still 3 greater demon monarchs. Most importantly, the myriad demon banner. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a strange light flashed in his eyes. He felt that the situation was very tricky. He wanted to deal with King Pine and Cypress, but until now, he still hadn't seen the real myriad demon banner. If all his guesses were wrong, then all his efforts would be for naught. Ling Xiao's only advantage now was that he was in the dark. King Songbai had not discovered him. However, he was afraid that if he delayed for too long, it would be too late for King Songbai to refine all the banners. Rumble. Just as Ling Xiao felt that the situation was extremely tricky and had yet to make up his mind, an earth-shattering sound was suddenly heard. The gate of the palace began to shake violently. Someone was attacking the gate of the palace. It's the Peony Monarch, Willow Monarch, and White Dragon Monarch. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he instantly made up his mind. It seemed that the 3 greater demon monarchs were not easy to deal with. Although they were a little behind King Pine and Cypress, they were not too late and had finally rushed out of the Emperor formation. They must have discovered that something was wrong with the gate of the palace, so they attacked the gate of the palace. Boom! 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 Powerful attacks landed on the gate of the palace like thunderbolts, causing the surrounding void to shake violently. Blazing divine light even leaked out from outside the palace, causing the powerful seal left by King Pine and Cypress to tremble slightly. Outside the palace were the Peony Monarch, Willow Monarch, and White Dragon Monarch. However, the 3 of them had ugly expressions at the moment. Their eyes were extremely gloomy and filled with flames of anger. It must be King Pine and Cypress. That old thing knows so much about the demon treasure. He must have entered it before us and then sealed the gate of the palace. White Dragon Monarch said coldly. His face was pale and his eyes were surging with killing intent. You're right. Only King Pine and Cypress managed to enter the myriad beast's secret trove before us. The seal of the gate of the palace was clearly set up not long ago. Did he really think that he could fool us? Willow Monarch said coldly. Do you guys think that it's Ling Tian who has entered it? Peony Monarch's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Impossible. What ability does that kid have? He's only an eminent saint. I think he can't even withstand the extreme Emperor aura. Maybe he's already dead inside. It must be King Pine and Cypress in the palace. White Dragon Monarch snorted coldly. That's right. Now that things have come to this, the three of us must work together. Don't hold back and use your most powerful techniques to break the seal. Willow Monarch said solemnly. Peony Monarch and White Dragon Monarch nodded. If they allowed King Pine and Cypress to obtain the inheritance in the demon treasure, it would be too late. Rumble. The three great demon monarchs erupted with an extremely terrifying aura as they displayed powerful killing techniques. They even took out various powerful treasures and blasted them towards the gate of the palace. The palace emitted 9-colored divine light as if it was made of some kind of divine gold. Although it looked indestructible, the reason why the gate of the palace could not be opened was because there was a seal in it. As long as the seal was opened, they would naturally be able to enter the palace. The three of them were incomparably furious. They were certain that King Pine and Cypress was receiving a powerful inheritance, so they sealed the gate of the palace. They attacked the seal on the gate of the palace madly. Rumble. Although the seal set up by King Pine and Cypress was extremely powerful, under the joint attack of the three great demon monarchs, the seal quickly dimmed. In the end, a blood-red light appeared in White Dragon Monarch's palm. In an instant, a huge blood-red dragon appeared in the sky. It contained an energy fluctuation that could destroy everything and directly blasted on the seal. Crack! The seal shattered with a loud bang, and the gate of the palace opened with a loud bang. Charge in! The three great demon monarchs' eyes lit up. Light flashed around their bodies as they turned into 3 divine rainbows and instantly rushed into the palace. Chapter 2666. Rumble. The door of the demon's secret treasure opened and blazing divine light spewed out. Peony King, Willow King, and White Dragon King rushed into the palace. But before they could get a clear look at the palace, they heard an old voice ring out. Formation, rise. Crack. Lightning seemed to explode in the void, causing the surroundings to roar in an instant. 81 formation flags appeared around Peony King, Willow King, and White Dragon King. They intertwined with each other, forming an extremely powerful trapping formation. The 81 array flags emitted a dazzling light. It was as if there was a star emitting an immeasurable amount of star power. They merged into one and turned into an incomparably dazzling starry sky. King Pine Cypress is indeed well prepared. Not only did he set up a seal, but he also set up a trap formation. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. The 81 array flags had originally formed a powerful seal. However, after the seal was broken by the 3 demon kings, the array flags did not immediately disperse. Instead, they intertwined with each other and formed a powerful array formation. In Ling Zhao's eyes, the bright stars on the flag were actually star crystal cores. They were supreme treasures of heaven and earth. In order to trap the 3 monster kings, King Pine Cypress had sacrificed 81 star crystal cores. Good stuff. The star crystal core is also a supreme treasure. It's a supplementary material for refining an Apex Emperor weapon. King Pine Cypress is really rich. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly as he was tempted. King Pine Cypress, how dare you take the demon's secret treasure for yourself? The White Dragon King roared furiously. His voice contained a monstrous fury. Roar! It was as if a dragon's roar exploded in the void, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently in an instant. The White Dragon King shook his body and transformed into a white dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. His chi and blood soared, exuding a monstrous aura. He wanted to break out of the trap formation. King Pine Cypress, the demon's secret treasure does not belong to you alone. Quickly open the formation. The Peony King also shouted coldly. Vast waves rose around her, as if an endless sea had appeared, and suddenly blasted out in all directions. He is determined to take the myriad demon's secret trove for himself. The star crystal core on the 81 array flags is the power core of this array. Destroy the star crystal core and we will be able to charge out. Willow King said in a deep voice. Kill! White Dragon King roared. Peony King and Willow King also used powerful divine abilities to attack the 81 star crystal cores. Ha ha ha! Aren't the three of you too childish? Like I said, once we enter the Myriad Fiend treasure trove, we will rely on our own abilities. Once I refine the Myriad Demon Banner, I'll be the supreme ruler of this vast demon realm. At that time, as long as you submit to me, I won't kill you. The king's old and domineering voice resounded, causing the monarch's expressions to become even more unsightly. Rumble. The three monarchs seemed to have gone completely mad. Like three blazing torrents, they attacked the star crystal core fiercely. Although the star crystal core was extremely sturdy and was protected by the array flags, under the attacks of the three monarchs, it began to shatter. This old man, how can he refine it so quickly? Ling Xiao furrowed his brows. He saw that the three monarchs were trapped in the formation, but King Pine Cypress had already refined half of the banners. At this rate, King Pine Cypress would refine all of the banners before the three monarchs could charge out of the formation. I have to make a move. Ling Xiao's eyes narrowed as he made a prompt decision. Although he had not found the core of the Myriad Demon Banner, if he did not make a move now, all of the banners would be refined by King Pine Cypress. Soon, 80% of the banners were refined by King Pine Cypress. Rumble. An ancient, mysterious and vast power rose, containing an extremely terrifying emperor's aura. The heavenly might was like a prison steel. In an instant, it turned into a huge heavenly steel and pressed down on King Pine Cypress. Ling Tian, how dare you? King Pine Cypress roared furiously, his voice filled with exasperation. He did not need to guess to know that Ling Xiao had made a move. Other than Ling Xiao, no one else could have entered the Myriad Demon's secret trove. King Pine Cypress gritted his teeth in shock and anger. He did not expect Ling Xiao to have entered the Myriad Demon's secret trove before him and hid. Even he did not notice Ling Xiao's whereabouts. Rumble. Ling Xiao ignored King Pine Cypress. The heavenly might was like a prison steel. It was an emperor's weapon that contained millions of caddies of divine power. At this moment, it pressed down on King Pine Cypress with terrifying power. Even if I can't kill you, I must severely injure you. Ling Xiao thought to himself. His eyes were extremely sharp. This palace contained a forbidden domain. Hiding in the heavens might prison steel, he had already expended a large amount of the power of his primordial spirit. Now that he forcefully activated the heavens might prison steel, he only had enough power left for one attack. The giant pine tree stood in the center of the palace, and billions of flames rose around him. The blazing divine light surged like the sea. The power of his primordial spirit was incomparably strong, but at this moment, it was all tied down by the 10,000 huge banners. Above the pine tree, divine light surged. In an instant, it condensed into a huge palm and went to meet the heavenly majestic prison monument. Crack! As if there was an explosion of lightning, blazing divine light swept in all directions. The huge divine light hand was shattered. The heavenly might contained unparalleled emperor's aura. It was not something that King Pine Cypress could withstand. It instantly slammed into the pine tree. King Pine Cypress's body shook violently. His branches and leaves exploded and bright red blood flowed out of his body. He let out a miserable and angry roar. Ling Tian. I'm going to kill you. King Pine Cypress hated Ling Tian to the extreme. There was a hint of madness in his voice. If not for the fact that more than half of his nascent divinity was restrained by the tens of thousands of giant banners, he would not have been struck by the heavenly might in an instant like a target. That brat Ling Tian actually entered the demon treasury as well. Let's break the formation while Ling Tian is holding King Pine Cypress back. We must not let the inheritance in the demon treasure fall into King Pine Cypress's hands. The Peony King was shocked and hurriedly said to Willow King. Okay. Willow King nodded. Millions of sword lights appeared around him. The sword qi was unparalleled. It was as if it could pierce through everything. It shot towards the star crystal cores. Instantly, a few more star crystal cores shattered. Genius memorized this address in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 2667. That Ling Tian actually entered the demon treasure earlier than King Pine and Cypress? How is this possible? White Dragon King's eyes were filled with disbelief. He had never taken Ling Xiao seriously and even thought that Ling Xiao had already died in the Supreme Emperor formation outside. Who would have thought that Ling Xiao would appear at this time? Boom! Although White Dragon King was extremely shocked, his attacks were not weak at all. The White Dragon body gave him unparalleled divine strength, and he shattered the star crystal cores one by one. Whoosh! After the Heavenly Might Prison Monument exploded with its strongest attack, it instantly turned into a stream of light and flew back into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. At this moment, King Pine and Cypress looked extremely miserable. Half of the branches and leaves of the originally majestic pine tree had exploded, and even the trunk had cracks. Rich life essence escaped from the cracks, and King Pine and Cypress's face appeared on the trunk. However, King Pine and Cypress no longer had the sage-like demeanor from before. His face was extremely distorted, and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. King Pine and Cypress, you've refined over 10,000 banners here. You've worked too hard. Why don't I help you refine a few of them? Ling Xiao smiled slightly. In an instant, the light between his eyebrows shone brightly, and the devouring fire turned into divine chains of order. They instantly wrapped around the banners, and the flames burned fiercely, beginning to refine the banners. Ling Tian, how dare you? King Pine and Cypress was furious. In an instant, a blazing light rose from his body, and he turned back into an old man with white hair and beard. He returned to his human form. His face was very pale, and there were traces of blood at the corner of his mouth. His chest had caved in, and even though there was a majestic aura of life around him, how could it be so easy for him to recover from the injuries caused by the heavenly might of the prison monument? How was this a Dao injury? It was a Dao injury left behind by the extreme Dao might. However, King Pine and Cypress did not care about the injuries on his body. In an instant, he pounced towards Ling Xiao, and there seemed to be a blazing sun rising in his palm. Why wouldn't I dare? King Pine Cypress, this is the legendary myriad demon banner. So what if you give me 100 of them? Ling Xiao smiled faintly and threw out a punch as well. Ling Xiao and King Pine Cypress collided fiercely. Surging divine power gushed out. King Pine Cypress's body seemed to be burning, while Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by purple qi. He looked majestic and mysterious. Rumble. Both Ling Xiao and King Pine Cypress retreated at the same time. King Pine and Cypress, it seems like your physical body is only so-so. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, but his eyes were incomparably sharp. His heart was slightly shaken. The punch just now seemed very casual, but it contained the power of the primordial immortal body. Even so, it was easily blocked by King Pine and Cypress. King Pine and Cypress's body was incomparably terrifying. Even White Dragon King's body was not as strong as King Pine and Cypress's. As expected of the leader of the 4 demon kings. Although Ling Xiao was fighting with King Pine and Cypress, he was also using his primordial spirit to activate the heaven-devouring fire to refine the 100 giant banners. Just now, when the Heaven's Might Prison Steel had unleashed its strongest attack, Ling Xiao had sensed a strange aura flashing through the tens of thousands of giant banners. Before he could capture the exact location of that aura, he had already seized the hundreds of giant banners around that aura. It must be the core of the myriad demon banner that can react to the Heaven's Might Prison Steel. Ling Xiao understood. The Extreme Dao Emperor weapon was like the incarnation of a supreme great emperor. When great emperors met, just the confrontation of their Extreme Dao Emperor aura was enough to tear apart a saint. It was extremely terrifying. When the Extreme Dao Emperor weapons met, it would definitely cause the other party to resist. Ling Xiao guessed that the Heaven's Might Prison Steel's extreme Tao Emperor aura had caused the core of the myriad demon banner to resist, which was why it emitted that strange aura. It was just that King Pine and Cypress did not notice it. Although Ling Xiao looked like he was fighting with King Pine and Cypress for control of the 100 giant banners, he was actually carefully searching for the core of the myriad demon banner. However, although King Pine and Cypress did not know that Ling Xiao had discovered the core of the myriad demon banner, he knew that he had to refine all the giant banners to be safe. The 100 giant banners could not be refined by Ling Xiao. If Ling Xiao refined the core of the myriad demon banner, then all his efforts would be for naught. Rumble. Ling Xiao and King Pine and Cypress exchanged blows in the void like lightning. Their speed was extremely fast, leaving behind afterimages. This was the forbidden domain, so they could only rely on their powerful physical bodies to fight. However, King Pine and Cypress's physical body had been tempered for tens of millions of years. Even those divine beasts with powerful bloodlines were inferior to him. For a moment, King Pine and Ling Xiao were evenly matched. Neither of them could do anything to the other. While King Pine and Cypress were refining the remaining giant banners, he unleashed the power of his primordial spirit in an attempt to snatch Ling Xiao's 100 giant banners. Rumble. The palace of the myriad demon treasure became extremely chaotic. However, the palace was also extremely powerful and mysterious. It seemed to contain endless space and was extremely sturdy. Although the fierce battle between Ling Xiao and King Pine and Cypress caused the palace to tremble violently, it did not show any signs of breaking. Flames spread across the sky as if a sun was condensing in the void. The pine tree in the sun looked crystal clear and mysterious. It rushed over like lightning, trying to snatch the control of those banners from the sky-devouring fire. Although Ling Xiao's physical body was extremely strong, he was only a great saint. His primordial spirit was not as strong as King Pine and Cypress's. The devouring fire was gradually losing ground. Found it. Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly flashed with a blazing light. He had finally discovered that among the 100 giant banners, there was a black banner that was very strange. His devouring fire seemed to have no way of refining it. And the thing that reacted to the Heavenly Might Prison Monument was this huge black banner. It was very likely to be the core of the myriad demon banner. Rumble. At this moment, the huge trap formation set up by King Pine and Cypress collapsed. The 81-star crystal cores were extremely dim and shattered, flying in all directions. 3 figures with extremely terrifying auras appeared in front of Ling Xiao and King Pine and Cypress. It was the Peony King, Willow King, and White Dragon King who had rushed out of the trap formation. Kill. The 3 demon kings scanned the situation in the palace. When they saw Ling Xiao and King Pine and Cypress fighting over the 100 giant banners, their killing intent surged. Their eyes were extremely cold as they charged towards King Pine and Cypress. Although the 3 of them did not know what the giant banners represented, they knew that it must be a supreme treasure if Ling Xiao and King Pine and Cypress were fighting over it. Genius memorized this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 2668. Ha ha ha. You want the 10,000 demon banner? Then I'll give it all to you. Ling Xiao suddenly laughed out loud. He stomped his foot, and a supreme divine power gushed out. Then, he waved his sleeve, and the hundreds of banners shook violently. They actually flew up, and like sharp swords, they enveloped the 4 demon kings with the heaven-devouring fire. What? King Pine Cypress's expression changed drastically. The tens of thousands of giant banners were one with the 10,000 demons' secret manual. Unless one could refine the core of the 10,000 demon banner, there was no way to pull out any of the giant banners. How did Ling Xiao do it? Rumble. The giant banners were incomparably sharp and contained an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation, causing the 4 monster kings to suddenly change their expressions. They did not dare to be negligent in the slightest as they leaped up one after another, displaying their powerful techniques to attack those giant banners. Even though the 4 demon kings' bodies were extremely strong, they felt an extremely strong rebounding force when they slapped the giant banners. Their arms were numb and their blood was in turmoil. The giant banners, which were only a few feet long, seemed to contain millions of tons of divine power. They were unable to resist. Especially the White Dragon King. Ling Xiao seemed to be deliberately targeting him. There were 60 to 70 giant banners flying towards him. They pierced the sky like divine arrows with terrifying power. Although the White Dragon King unleashed his supreme divine power and blasted the giant banners away, he felt as if he was struck by lightning. He coughed up blood and his eyes were filled with anger. Ling Tian, I'm going to kill you. The White Dragon King's eyes were extremely gloomy and filled with cold killing intent. No. There are only 99 giant banners here. You, the giant banner in your hand. King Pine Cypress's body trembled. His eyes were filled with shock as he suddenly raised his head to look at Ling Xiao. He saw that Ling Xiao was holding a giant black banner in his hand. Rumble. Ling Xiao's blood was boiling. He held a giant black banner in his hand and exuded a powerful battle intent. His body was surrounded by purple divine light, making him look even more mysterious and majestic. King Pine Cypress, if I'm not wrong, this giant banner is the core of the 10,000 demon banner. What a pity. You've prepared for so long, but in the end, you're just going to be my wedding dress. Ling Xiao smiled, revealing his snow-white teeth. His smile was very bright. This black banner was the one that reacted to the heavenly might prison steel. Sky-devouring fire constantly poured out from Ling Xiao's forehead, completely enveloping the black banner. The fire burned brightly, containing Ling Xiao's soul imprint. He wanted to refine the black banner. The core of the myriad demon banner. That belongs to this old man. Hand it over. King Cedarwood's body trembled, and his eyes turned blood red. He had painstakingly set everything up and waited for tens of millions of years for the myriad demon banner. But now, the 10,000 demons banner had fallen into Ling Xiao's hands. This enraged Ling Xiao completely. His entire body was filled with murderous intent. Crack! He threw a punch at Ling Xiao, and the qi of Xianhuang surged around him, causing his body to be filled with an immortal luster. He was extremely ferocious, as if he could destroy everything. The core of the myriad demon banner. Ling Tian, as long as you hand it over to me, I'll spare your life. The White Dragon King's eyes were also blazing as he leaped toward Ling Xiao. Kill! The Peony King and Willow King looked at each other. Their qi and blood also surged, and a strong fighting spirit erupted as they pounced toward Ling Xiao. The White Dragon King, the Peony King, and Willow King might not know what the core of the myriad demon banner was, but that did not stop them from fighting for it. The 4 demon kings attacked at the same time, and the terrifying aura fluctuations seemed to be able to tear everything apart. Ling Xiao instantly became the focus of their attention. Each and every one of them displayed their most powerful killing techniques, wanting to kill Ling Xiao completely and snatch the core of the 10,000 demon banner. With just you guys, I'd like to see how strong the 4 demon kings are. Ling Xiao sneered, and an extremely strong fighting spirit surged in his eyes. Crack! Purple lightning flashed around him, and his qi and blood surged, intertwining into mysterious runes. The mighty purple qi surged like a terrifying sea, and his heart and head began to glow. The primordial immortal body was completely activated. Even when facing the 4 demon kings, Ling Xiao was not afraid at all. Boom! The giant black banner in Ling Xiao's hand was used as a long spear, and it flapped loudly. In an instant, it soared into the sky and suppressed the 4 demon kings as if it was sweeping through an army. If they were in the outside world, the strength of the 4 demon kings would not be affected, and Ling Xiao might not be a match for them. However, in the myriad demon treasure, within the forbidden zone, he could only rely on his strong physical strength and primordial spirit to contend with them. What did Ling Xiao have to fear? Clang! The Pine and Cypress King took the lead and punched the giant black banner. Immediately, the sound of metal clashing rang out, and the void shook violently. The White Dragon King's body emitted blazing divine thunder, and the lightning surged, increasing his speed to the extreme. In an instant, he blasted hundreds of punches toward Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao held the giant black banner in one hand and the invincible fist print in the other. Purple chi rose around him, and his fists were powerful and unparalleled. Even when facing the siege of the 4 demon kings, he was still fearless. It was as if there was a purple sun in Ling Xiao's body, blooming with unparalleled brilliance, providing him with an endless supply of energy. He also exchanged hundreds of punches with the White Dragon King in an instant, and finally blasted the White Dragon King away. Kill! Ling Xiao roared. Facing the Peony King and Willow King who were charging towards him, his eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. The giant banner soared into the sky like a giant black dragon, piercing toward the Peony King. However, the Peony King waved his sleeve, and it immediately rolled over, turning into streaks of white light that wrapped around the black banner. At the same time, a pink mist gushed out of the Peony King's palm, enveloping Ling Xiao. On the other hand, sword chi surged around Willow King. His jade-like face had turned cold at this moment. His eyes were like lightning, and a huge willow tree that was rooted in chaos seemed to appear behind him. Willow branches drooped down like sword chi, piercing towards Ling Xiao. The Peony King and Willow King's cooperation was impeccable, locking onto Ling Xiao's vital points. Break! Ling Xiao roared. Violent vital energy and blood surged around him, and he roared like a primordial dragon. The giant black banner shook violently, crushing the streaks of white light. At the same time, Ling Xiao leapt up, and a stream of heaven-devouring fire surged over, enveloping the pink mist. He wanted to burn it to ashes. Although Ling Xiao didn't know what the pink mist was, he could tell that it must be a method to target his soul, so he didn't dare to touch it at all. Genius memorized this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2669. Swoosh. 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 Just as Ling Xiao rose into the air, Willow King's hundreds of millions of sword chi streaked across the sky, containing the power to pierce through everything. It was so sharp that even Ling Xiao felt threatened. Kill! Ling Xiao roared, and a powerful fighting spirit surged around him. He punched out in the air, and purple chi spread out for 3,000 feet, colliding with the sword chi that filled the sky. The sound of metal clashing erupted, and sparks flew everywhere. Boom! All of Ling Xiao's pores were spewing out purple gold light. It was his powerful chi and blood. It spread out and formed an extremely powerful barrier, blocking the sword chi that filled the sky outside. At the same time, Ling Xiao's speed was like lightning. He dodged Willow King's attack while looking for an opportunity to counterattack. The refining speed of the core of the 10,000 demon banner is actually so slow. Ling Xiao furrowed his brows, his eyes filled with incomparable doubt. His primordial spirit was also extremely powerful. He used the power of his primordial spirit to activate the sky-devouring fire, wanting to refine the giant black banner in his hand. However, Ling Xiao could feel that the giant black banner seemed to be resisting his power, and it was extremely difficult to do so. Crack! King Pine Cypress and White Dragon King charged over again. Their eyes were like lightning, and their bodies were filled with murderous intent. Speaking of which, King Pine Cypress and White Dragon King hated Ling Xiao the most. If it were not for Ling Xiao, King Pine Cypress might have refined the core of the 10,000 demon banner. At this moment, Ling Xiao held the core of the 10,000 demon banner in his hand and became the focus of the 4 demon kings' attacks. They all wanted to kill him. Rumble. The 4 demon kings' attacks were extremely fierce, and each attack was aimed at Ling Xiao's vital points. After all, they were all celestial venerables. Although they were in the forbidden zone and could not use the Great Path's precepts, his physical body had been refined for thousands of years, and his primordial spirit was even more powerful. His strength had reached the peak of the Saint Path, and his combat strength had not decreased by much. If it were only one demon king, Ling Xiao might be able to suppress him quickly. However, when the 4 demon kings joined forces, the combat strength that erupted from them made Ling Xiao feel extremely pressured. Although the 4 demon kings were not on good terms with each other, their cultivation had reached their current level. When it came to joining forces in a battle, their coordination was superb. Almost as soon as they made a move, Ling Xiao was at a disadvantage. Ling Xiao blocked left and right. Although his physical body was extremely strong, he was unable to effectively deal any damage to a demon king. He could only passively resist the attacks of the 4 demon kings. Ling Tian, hand over the core of the myriad demon banner. Otherwise, you'll definitely die today. King Pine and Cypress said coldly. His eyes were incomparably cold. His strength was the strongest, and the strength of his body was incomparably terrifying. His body contained immortal energy, and even his bones had been refined into indestructible bones. Although he had been severely injured by the prison monument, his attacks were ruthless and decisive. Each of his attacks had targeted Ling Xiao's vital points, making Ling Xiao feel incomparably troubled. Almost in an instant, they had fought over 100 rounds. The 4 demon kings had firmly gained the upper hand. King Pine and Cypress saw that Ling Xiao was about to be suppressed, so he hoped to tempt Ling Xiao into giving him the core of the myriad demon banner. Ling Tian, as long as you give me the giant black banner in your hand, our grudges will be written off. I'll spare your life. The White Dragon King also sneered. Ling Tian, my young friend, you'd better hand over the giant black banner. Such a treasure is not something you can possess. If you continue to resist stubbornly, only death will await you. The Peony King also sighed softly. She still had a good impression of Ling Xiao and did not want to see Ling Xiao die. However, this battle for the myriad demon banner was a battle of luck. She could not give it up just because she had a good impression of Ling Xiao. Whoosh! Willow King's eyes were cold. Although he did not speak, a willow branch swept across the sky like a sharp sword. It was extremely sharp, instantly leaving a deep wound on Ling Xiao's back. He had used his actions to express his attitude. The 4 demon kings were determined to obtain the myriad demon banner. If Ling Xiao did not hand over the myriad demon banner, they would not hold back at all. You! Do you really think you've got me? Ling Xiao abruptly raised his head, and his eyes became incomparably blood-red. His entire body emitted an incomparably violent aura. Humph! You're courting death. King Pine Cypress's eyes flashed with murderous intent. In an instant, his vital energy and blood surged, and a large yellow palm pressed down on Ling Xiao. Rumble! The purple-gold vital energy and blood in Ling Xiao's body surged like a surging river. His body seemed to emit a vast power of the Great Tao. It overflowed from his body like thunder, causing the void to rumble violently. Kill! Ling Xiao suddenly roared. His eyes contained a strong fighting spirit as he punched towards King Pine Cypress. His fist was unparalleled and contained an invincible aura. It was as if it had turned into a chaotic divine dragon in an instant. The dragon's aura was unparalleled as it pressed down on King Pine Cypress. Seeing that Ling Xiao seemed to want to fight King Pine Cypress, White Dragon King, Peony King, and Willow King also took the opportunity to attack Ling Xiao. Just like Feng said, this brat has the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. He has at least the bloodline of the 9-star Divine Dragon, or even the bloodline of the Ancestral Dragon. As long as I devour his bloodline, I might be able to take the last step. White Dragon King thought to himself. His eyes were filled with an incomparable murderous intent. White Dragon King's body was surging with blood-red light. His eyes flickered with a dangerous fluctuation. His palm silently turned into a large blood-red palm print, and then directly slammed towards Ling Xiao's back. Blood Dragon swallowing the sky seal. This was White Dragon King's most terrifying innate ability. It could devour the essence, blood, and primordial spirit of living creatures and turn it into a part of himself. It was this ability that allowed White Dragon King to grow to this day. However, he rarely revealed the blood dragon devouring heaven's seal in front of outsiders. Anyone who saw it was already dead. Until he saw that Ling Xiao was about to fight King Pine Cypress, he quietly used the blood dragon swallowing the sky seal to injure Ling Xiao and devour his bloodline of the ancestral dragon. Rumble. Ling Xiao and King Pine Cypress suddenly collided. In an instant, the void trembled, and blazing divine light gushed out. Ling Xiao's body shook, and he was directly sent flying by King Pine Cypress. King Pine Cypress's eyes revealed a strange look. He realized that Ling Xiao's strength was very strong, and it didn't seem like he was going to risk his life. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's speed was extremely fast, and he was flying towards White Dragon King. The blood-red palm print behind White Dragon King seemed to be about to be hit by the blood dragon swallowing the sky seal. White Dragon King's eyes instantly revealed a cold murderous intent. This was a heaven-sent opportunity. The blood-red light around him poured into his palm, and the blood dragon swallowing the sky seal emitted a terrifying fluctuation, wanting to kill Ling Xiao with one blow. Chapter 2670. Boom! Just as Ling Xiao's back was about to be hit by the blood dragon swallowing the sky print, his body twisted at an unbelievable angle and moved a few inches to the side. The blood dragon swallowing the sky print brushed past Ling Xiao's ribs. The spot where it came into contact with Ling Xiao's skin actually burst out a bright divine light. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a hint of mockery. He suddenly clamped his arm and an unparalleled divine power burst out, clamping White Dragon King's arm directly. At the same time, Ling Xiao's elbow was as fast as lightning, aiming for White Dragon King's face. What? White Dragon King's face changed slightly. He did not expect Ling Xiao to dodge the blood dragon swallowing the sky prince attack and even counterattack. The speed of the elbow strike was too fast. Even the White Dragon King could not react in time. He instantly felt a heavy blow on his face. His nose was shattered, and his face was covered in blood. A sharp pain came, and the White Dragon King almost shed tears. His face was his Achilles heel. Although his whole body was as hard as diamond, his face was still his weakest point. Now that he was hit by Ling Xiao's elbow, his eyes immediately turned black. Ling Tian, you're courting death. White Dragon King was furious. In an instant, blazing lightning rose around his body. The black lightning contained a terrifying destructive power and enveloped Ling Xiao in an instant. Kill! Ling Xiao roared. Chaotic light rose around his body. In an instant, he threw a punch at White Dragon King. When this punch was thrown, it was as if all the energy in Ling Xiao's body was gushing out. It contained a force that could split the heavens and earth. It was like the invincible force of creation in the endless chaos. It wanted to obliterate all the worlds, shatter all the civilizations, and annihilate all the living beings. At the same time, there was an unparalleled divine power that could split the heavens and earth and create all living beings. Extreme killing and extreme vitality fused together to form this unimaginable fist technique. Epic Fist. Ling Xiao's punch made the four demon kings feel as if an epoch was collapsing and all living beings were wailing in grief. They could not help but tremble. Especially White Dragon King, who was being targeted by Ling Xiao, was trembling violently. Facing Ling Xiao's epic fist, he felt the threat of death. Damn it! He wanted to kill me from the very beginning. The White Dragon King's expression was extremely ugly. His eyes were filled with incomparable madness. It turned out that Ling Xiao's intention to fight King Pine Cypress was fake. His real intention was to kill King Pine Cypress. Ling Xiao's punch seemed to have landed on White Dragon King's blood dragon swallowing the sky seal, but in reality, it was just a ploy to kill White Dragon King. The White Dragon King felt ridiculous. He had never put Ling Xiao in his eyes. He thought that Ling Xiao was just an ant. Now, this ant wanted to kill him. However, the fist of the epoch made the White Dragon King feel an invincible aura, as if death was his eternal destination. Rumble. White Dragon King's body surged with terrifying divine light, and the blood in his body seemed to be burning. He roared angrily, and his eyes were filled with crazy killing intent. He punched out, trying to block Ling Xiao's fist of the epoch. "You must block it!" the White Dragon King roared in his heart. If he could not block this punch, he was afraid that he would really die. The fist of the epoch pressed down, as if the universe was about to be destroyed at the same time. The demon's secret treasury trembled violently, and this incomparably sturdy palace seemed to be about to collapse because of Ling Xiao's punch. However, Ling Xiao did not notice that the huge black banner in his hand seemed to be emitting a mysterious light. It was like an incomparably human emotion, and it became incomparably agitated. Crack! The fist of the epoch fell, and the White Dragon King's arms made an incomparably crisp sound. They suddenly broke apart, and his flesh was badly mangled. Then, they turned into dust in an instant. Ling Xiao's punch did not lose its momentum. It directly landed on the White Dragon King's chest, blasting a huge bloody hole in his chest. An incomparably terrifying divine power surged into the White Dragon King's body, causing his body to tremble violently. Spiderweb-like cracks appeared on his body, as if he would collapse at any time. Puff! The White Dragon King was suddenly sent flying. Blood spurted out of his mouth as if it was free. His entire body was covered in blood. His flesh was badly mutilated, and he looked extremely miserable. Die! Ling Xiao's face was slightly pale, but his eyes were incomparably sharp. His entire body's battle intent rose to the extreme. The huge black banner in his hand was like a bolt of black lightning. In an instant, it pierced through the void and pierced towards the White Dragon King's forehead. Ling Xiao wanted to kill the White Dragon King with this blow. "Save me!" the White Dragon King roared. He looked at the King of Cypress Pine, the Peony King, and the Willow King with eyes full of pleading and despair. He was completely terrified. He could not believe that Ling Xiao could actually kill him. At this moment, the dignity of a demon king, the anger and hatred, the fortune and opportunity, all disappeared from his heart. He only wanted to survive. Get lost! The King of Cypress Pine, the Peony King, and the Willow King only hesitated for a moment. The King of Cypress Pine suddenly roared, and the three monster kings immediately charged towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's fist of the epoch was too terrifying, and it was extremely fast. They did not have the slightest chance to stop it, and the White Dragon King was severely injured by Ling Xiao. However, the White Dragon King could not die. They had already seen how terrifying Ling Xiao was. If the White Dragon King really died in Ling Xiao's hands, then the three of them were afraid that they would be in danger. At this moment, regardless of whether it was for the death of a rabbit or for other reasons, they had to save the White Dragon King no matter what. Those who block me shall die. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. The blazing blood light around him rose, and the chaotic mist spread behind him as if an ancient and mysterious hell had emerged. A mysterious figure swallowed the world and suppressed the 9 heavens and 10 lands. It contained invincible luck, and it suppressed the 3 of them from the sky. Celestial Emperor Prison Suppression Skill. Although Ling Xiao could not activate the principle of Great Path, he could still erupt with extremely terrifying combat strength just by using the power of his physical body and primordial spirit to activate this Supreme Emperor technique. As soon as the Celestial Emperor Prison Suppression skill was used, the 3 of them changed their expressions. Their eyes became more and more shocked and dignified. Ling Xiao's endless means made them somewhat incredulous. How could a mere supreme saint have so many powerful secret skills and trump cards? Rumble. The 3 of them were blocked by Ling Xiao's Celestial Emperor Prison Suppression skill, and the giant black banner in his hand was like a black lightning, instantly piercing through the White Dragon King's forehead. How could I die? The White Dragon King's eyes widened. His eyes were filled with disbelief, unwillingness, despair, and regret. At this moment, he was already an arrow at the end of its flight. His physical body was severely injured by Ling Xiao's fist of the epoch, and he was in the forbidden zone. There was no way he could escape Ling Xiao's fatal blow. The giant black banner pierced through the White Dragon King's forehead and directly killed his primordial spirit. The White Dragon King roared unwillingly. The light in his eyes dimmed instantly, and he died. Rumble. At this moment, King Pine Cypress also broke through the Celestial Emperor prison suppression skill's unparalleled palm print and blasted Ling Xiao away, but it was too late. The White Dragon King had already died in Ling Xiao's hands. The White Dragon King is dead. King Pine Cypress, Peony King, and Willow King's eyes were filled with disbelief. They were completely stunned. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2671. Who was White Dragon King? He was one of the overlords of the Endless Island. His strength was unfathomable. He was an old monster who had lived for tens of millions of years. His cultivation had reached the peak of the Saint Path, and he was a supreme expert in the Celestial Master realm. In terms of strength alone, White Dragon King was second only to King Pine and Cypress, and was on par with Peony King and Willow King. Ling Xiao had actually killed White Dragon King under the siege of the 4 Demon Kings. King Pine and Cypress, Peony King, and Willow King did not expect this battle to be so tragic. White Dragon King is dead. Do you still want the demon banner? Ling Xiao's face was extremely pale, and bright red blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. However, his eyes were extremely sharp, and his body emitted a monstrous murderous aura as he stared at the 3 demon kings in front of him. The huge black banner in his hand was inserted between White Dragon King's eyebrows, piercing through his head. His corpse was directly lifted up, and it looked extremely miserable. Ling Tian, you are already an arrow at the end of its flight. I advise you not to resist stubbornly and hand over the core of the demon banner. King Pine and Cypress shouted. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Although White Dragon King's death shocked him, he could not give up the core of the demon banner because of this. Moreover, he could also see that Ling Xiao had just used the Fist of the Epoch to kill White Dragon King with the huge black banner. Then, he used the Celestial Emperor's prison suppression technique to withstand the terrifying attacks of the 3 demon kings. Ling Xiao's current state was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Peony King and Willow King did not speak, but their expressions were extremely solemn. White Dragon King's death made them unable to calm down for a long time. Although White Dragon King's combat strength was on par with theirs, their physical bodies were not as strong as White Dragon King's in this forbidden zone. Ling Xiao could even kill White Dragon King directly. Did this mean that he could also kill the 2 of them? Unconsciously, they felt a sense of fear in their hearts. You can try. Ling Xiao grinned. His white teeth were mixed with bright red blood, which made his smile look a little ferocious, and it made people's hair stand on end. Boom! At this moment, the huge black banner in Ling Xiao's hands suddenly buzzed and trembled. The White Dragon King, who had been pierced by the huge banner, instantly turned into a torrent and was devoured by the huge black banner. The White Dragon King turned into ashes at a speed visible to the naked eye, completely disappearing in front of everyone. What? The White Dragon King, the Peony King, and the Willow King all trembled. Their eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The huge change in the huge black banner caused everyone to become somewhat bewildered. Rumble. The black banner spewed out a blazing light. There was originally a dragon-shaped divine beast imprint on it. At this moment, endless primal chaos chi surged. Vast energy soared, and the dragon-shaped divine beast imprint turned into a primal chaos ancestor dragon that was billions of miles long. It was as if he had awakened from the endless chaos. His body was surrounded by 9-colored divine light, and he exuded a vast dragon's might. An earth-shattering dragon's roar erupted from his mouth. Roar! The void trembled, and a mysterious fluctuation spread out in all directions. The dragon's roar made billions of demonic beasts submit. It was like the king of all demonic beasts, exuding an invincible aura of supremacy. The huge black banner shone brightly, and in an instant, its appearance changed. It turned into a huge banner that was 90 feet tall, surrounded by primal chaos chi. It shone with dazzling multicolored light and thousands of auspicious lights, illuminating the entire palace as if it was daytime. At this moment, the other 9,999 huge banners trembled at the same time, as if they had met their king. They exuded a strange fluctuation. Ling Xiao held the huge black banner in his hand, and he felt a blood connection. His palm seemed to have been pierced by the huge banner, and the primal chaos ancestor dragon's bloodline in his body surged into the huge banner. It made the primal chaos ancestor dragon clearer, and it produced a strange resonance with him. Roar! Another dragon's roar came from the huge black banner. Swoosh! 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 The 999 huge banners in the palace rose from the ground in an instant, turning into streams of light and flying towards the huge black banner in Ling Xiao's hand. Oh no! King Pine Cypress's expression changed, and his eyes became extremely gloomy in an instant. He revealed a monstrous anger, and he directly soared into the sky, trying to snatch the huge black banner in Ling Xiao's hand. Although he did not know what had happened, he vaguely felt that perhaps Ling Xiao had refined the core of the 10,000 demon banner. Otherwise, the tens of thousands of huge banners in the palace would not have such a strange reaction. Hand over the 10,000 demon banner. King Peony and King Willow also shouted. Their eyes were extremely sharp, and they leaped towards Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao held the huge black banner in his hand, and the divine light around him was dazzling. Purple chi rose, and he felt that his body was full of explosive power. His aura instantly recovered to its peak. Holding the 10,000 demon banner, Ling Xiao felt as if he had become the emperor of hundreds of millions of demonic beasts, and he could casually kill any demonic beasts who dared to challenge his authority. King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow were no threat to him. So, I have to sacrifice a powerful demon king to awaken the power of the 10,000 demon banner? Ling Xiao thought to himself. After the 10,000 demon banner had swallowed the white dragon king's blood essence and primordial spirit, Ling Xiao felt that the obscure and obstructive power had disappeared. His primordial spirit controlled the sky-devouring fire, and it had almost naturally refined the core of the 10,000 demon banner. In particular, the ancestral dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body seemed to have formed a strange resonance with the chaotic ancestral dragon on the 10,000 demon banner, allowing him to control the huge black banner in an instant. Ha ha ha! King Pine Cypress, King Peony, King Willow, you're too late. Ling Xiao laughed loudly. The huge black banner in his hand shook, and in an instant, it was like a huge mountain, pressing down on King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow. Roar! The chaotic ancestral dragon on the huge banner let out an earth-shattering dragon roar, as if it had rushed out of the chaos, exuding a terrifying pressure. What? King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow all felt their bodies tremble. There seemed to be an irresistible force pressing down on them from the huge black banner. Puff! 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 The three demon kings were swept by the huge black banner, as if they had been struck by lightning. Their bodies trembled violently, and they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their auras became weak, and they were directly sent flying. The 9,999 giant banners in the palace were like streams of light, returning to the sea and directly merging into the giant black banner in Ling Xiao's hand. Boom! The huge black banner suddenly emitted millions of rays of light, and a vast and mighty emperor's aura gushed out from it. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 2672. The vast emperor's aura contained unparalleled origin energy, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. Even the 10,000 demons' secret trove began to emit a bright light, as if a strange power had awakened. After the 9,999 banners merged, the black banners instantly bloomed with 9-colored light, filled with chaotic light and shrouded in powerful emperor's aura. A blazing light majestically shot into the sky. Ling Xiao, who was holding the black banner, began to emit an explosive aura, as if he had formed a mysterious resonance with the black banner. Similarly, an emperor's aura emanated from his body. So, this is the real 10,000 Demons banner? A trace of understanding emerged in Ling Xiao's heart. His gaze also became sharp and resplendent. The huge black banner was the core of the 10,000 demon banner, and the 9,999 huge banners were all transformed from the 10,000 demon banner itself. At that moment, they had fused with the core of the 10,000 demon banner, and the huge black banner had become the true 10,000 demon banner. Originally, it was extremely difficult for Ling Xiao to refine the 10,000 demons banner. It could even be said that it was impossible. Fortunately, he had unleashed a peerless attack and killed the White Dragon King. By chance, the core of the 10,000 demons banner had devoured the White Dragon King's flesh and blood essence, awakening the Emperor's aura. Only then could it merge with the 10,000 demons banner. Even Ling Xiao had not expected this. It had to be said that Ling Xiao was indeed the chosen one. He was indeed blessed. With the 10,000 demons banner in his hand, Ling Xiao's aura became extremely powerful, exuding an invincible aura. Above the 10,000 demons banner, an endless chaotic mist lingered, and the divine light was dazzling. It was as if tens of thousands of divine beasts were roaring in the sky. Archaic mutants, powerful divine beasts, and primordial ferocious beasts seemed to have come alive from the depths of time and space. They circled around Ling Xiao, making him look like the Lord of Demons. No! King Pine Cypress suddenly roared. His voice was filled with unwillingness, anger, and despair. He had planned for thousands of years, consumed countless natural treasures, and paid a great price, all so that he could one day wield the 10,000 demons banner. However, what he did not expect was that in the end, Ling Xiao had actually refined the 10,000 demon banner. He had no way to stop it. The 10,000 demon banner. He actually refined the 10,000 demon banner. Peony King and Willow King's eyes were filled with incomparable shock. They looked at Ling Xiao with incomparably solemn gazes. They could faintly feel that the world was about to change. Although Ling Xiao seemed to only have the cultivation of great sage realm, his strength was unfathomable and unparalleled. Even White Dragon King died in his hands. Now that Ling Xiao wielded the 10,000 demon banner, the aura that radiated from him made them tremble. Unknowingly, a ripple of fear appeared in the depths of their souls. How were they supposed to fight Ling Xiao? Let's go. Peony King looked deeply at Ling Xiao, then made a prompt decision to speak to Willow King. Ling Xiao was already extremely strong. Now that he was in control of the myriad demon banner, he was like a tiger that had grown wings. They no longer had any thoughts of competing with Ling Xiao for the myriad demon banner. At this moment, they only wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. They could sense an extremely dangerous aura from the 10,000 demon banner. Ling Tian, just you wait. King Pine Cypress looked at Ling Xiao with incomparable anger. Seeing that Peony King and Willow King were about to leave, he also had the intention to retreat in his heart. Somewhat unwillingly, he left behind a ruthless sentence. His heart was bleeding. The 10,000 demon banner was already his, but now it was snatched away by Ling Xiao. To him, this was simply a great humiliation. Want to leave? Did I say that you can leave? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Boom! He waved the 10,000 demon banner in his hand. In an instant, the void trembled and the 10,000 demons' secret trove trembled violently. A vast emperor's aura swept across the sky and directly suppressed King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow. The door of the 10,000 demon treasure slammed shut, trapping the three monster kings inside. Ling Tian, how dare you? King Pine Cypress roared furiously. Ling Tian, let us go. We promise that we will never be your enemy again. Peony King and Willow King's faces changed as they hurriedly shouted at Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao did not pay any attention to them. The 10,000 demon banner pressed down mightily, containing an emperor's aura that could destroy the world. The three monster kings trembled violently, as if a sense of fear was born from the depths of their souls. They did not dare to have the slightest intention of resisting. The three monster kings felt an unparalleled force pressing down on them. Their bodies trembled violently, and their legs gave way as they knelt in front of Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with humiliation. However, the 10,000 demon banner gave them a terrifying feeling. It was as if the 10,000 demon banner could control their life and death at will. It contained a power that made them extremely fearful. It was extremely difficult for them to even stand up. The three monster kings knelt in front of Ling Xiao. Although their eyes were about to spew fire, there was nothing they could do. It seems that the 10,000 demon banner is indeed a treasure that suppresses the fate of the demon realm. It really contains the life imprints of billions of demon clan members. No wonder there is a saying that the owner of the 10,000 demon banner is the Lord of Demons. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as he looked down at the three monster kings in front of him. He did not expect that he would be able to suppress the three monster kings so easily. However, the three monster kings' reactions made him realize that the 10,000 demon banner contained the life imprints of billions of demon clan members. The three monster kings were no exception. Therefore, when they faced the 10,000 demon banner, they were naturally afraid and suppressed by the banner. In addition to the restrictive domain, the 10,000 demon banner's extreme emperor's aura was extremely terrifying. Although they had the strength and cultivation of a monster king, there was nothing they could do. Ling Tian, what are you trying to do? King Pine and Cypress roared in grief and indignation. His face was full of fear. Ling Tian, we have offended you. How can you let us go? King Peony and King Willow laughed bitterly. Now, they had no choice but to lower their heads. Facing Ling Xiao, who held the 10,000 demon banner, even the three monster kings had no choice but to lower their proud heads. I hold the 10,000 demon banner and am the Lord of Demons. You have two choices now. The first is to hand over your primordial spirit imprints and acknowledge me as your master. The second is to die. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. There was a trace of sharp light in his eyes as he stared at the three monster kings in front of him. Hand over my primordial spirit imprints? Impossible. Ling Tian, the winner takes all. I have nothing to say. Kill me. King Pine and Cypress sneered, revealing a look as if he was facing death with equanimity. Ling Tian, you don't have to humiliate us. We have our own dignity. Monster kings cannot be humiliated. King Peony said angrily. So what if we die? Anyway, we have lived for so long. It's enough. King Willow also sneered. It seems that all of you have chosen death. What a pity. I didn't expect that the three monster kings would be completely annihilated today. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, his expression extremely calm. King Pine and Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow's reactions were within Ling Xiao's expectations. After all, these three heavenly venerables were the rulers of the Endless Island. They had their own dignity and bearing. It would not be so easy to make them submit to Ling Xiao. Chapter 2673. Taking a day off for, Eternal Emperor, please wait for a moment. After the content is updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 2674. Previously, Ling Xiao held on to the slightest hope that the four monster kings would submit to him if he took control of the 10,000 demons banner. However, it seemed that King Pine Cypress, King Peony, and King Willow all had their dignity as monster kings. They would rather die than submit to Ling Xiao. Rumble. Blazing divine light rose from Ling Xiao's body, and the 10,000 demons banner in his hand was instantly filled with chaotic mist. It turned into a giant banner that suppressed the three monster kings. The eyes of the three monster kings were filled with despair. The extreme emperor aura that erupted from the 10,000 demons banner caused the three monster kings to tremble. They felt a deep sense of powerlessness. The 10,000 demons banner was like a terrifying chaotic vortex that directly swallowed the three monster kings. Crack! In an instant, the void trembled, and the lightning was dazzling. The auras of the three monster kings seemed to have been completely erased, and they disappeared in front of Ling Xiao. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. He realized that the three monster kings did not die immediately after being swallowed by the 10,000 demons banner. Instead, they were affected by the extreme emperor aura of the 10,000 demons banner, and involuntarily revealed their primordial spirit brands and integrated them into the 10,000 demons banner. Boom! 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 The king of pine and cypress turned into a huge pine tree, the king of peony turned into a beautiful peony flower, and the willow king turned into an ancient willow tree. They revealed their true forms in an instant, and their auras gradually merged with the 10,000 demon banner. The primordial spirit brands of the three monster kings integrated into the 10,000 demons banner. It seems that they can't die even if they want to. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a strange look. He originally wanted to kill the three monster kings with the myriad demon banner, but he did not expect that after the three monster kings entered the myriad demon banner, their primordial spirit imprints merged with the myriad demon banner. The three monster kings' auras also came from the same source as the myriad demon banner. Under Ling Zhao's guidance, the life and death of the three monster kings were completely in his hands. Swoosh! 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 Above the 10,000 demons banner, a bright light flashed. In an instant, the figures of the three demon kings flew out. They looked at Ling Zhao with eyes full of fanaticism and worship. King Pine Cypress greets the demon lord. The Peony King greets the demon lord. Willow King greets the demon lord. The three demon kings knelt respectfully in front of Ling Zhao, their eyes filled with fervor. What a terrifying myriad demon banner! Ling Zhao's heart trembled slightly. His eyes were filled with horror. The three demon kings had been completely transformed by the myriad demon banner just like that, becoming Ling Zhao's most loyal fanatics. Ling Zhao could clearly sense that there were no changes to their cultivation, souls, or memories. The only thing that had changed was their loyalty to Ling Zhao. Through the 10,000 demon banner, Ling Zhao controlled the three demon monarchs' essence soul imprints. He could even sense their thoughts. There was no hatred. There was no greed. There was only fanatical worship for Ling Zhao. It was no wonder that the owner of the myriad demon banner was the lord of myriad demons, the supreme ruler of the demon realm. This function of the myriad demon banner was truly heaven-defying. Pine Cypress King, you weren't willing to submit to me just now, why are you agreeing now? Ling Zhao's expression was calm as he said lightly to Pine Cypress King. Lord Demon Lord, you are the heaven's chosen one, the true lord of heaven's mandate. Just now, I had eyes but failed to see an offended master. If you want to punish me, I will not complain. Pine Cypress King said respectfully, his eyes filled with deep awe. Ling Zhao could feel that if he ordered Pine Cypress King to die, Pine Cypress King would not hesitate at all. This was the terror of the myriad demon banner. Very well. Pine Cypress King, Peony King, Willow King, listen up. I order you to subdue everyone in the myriad demon realm and make them submit to me. Those who don't submit, kill without mercy. Ling Zhao said with murderous intent. Yes, sir. Pine Cypress King, Peony King, and Willow King all said respectfully at the same time. Demon Lord, this myriad demon ancient tree has lived for hundreds of millions of years. It is because of the seal of the four of us that it can't transform. Demon Lord, you can refine the essence soul crystal core of the myriad demon ancient tree and completely subdue it. At that time, you will have another peerless demon king under your command. Pine Cypress King said respectfully. The essence soul crystal core of the myriad demon ancient tree? Where is it? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Pine Cypress King's words made him feel a little excited. This 10,000 Fei ancient tree had lived for hundreds of millions of years. If it could really transform successfully, it would at least be a peerless expert in the Saint King realm. Even the aura of an imperial emperor expert was not as powerful as that of the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. The potential of the myriad demon ancient tree was limitless, far surpassing Pine Cypress King, Peony King, and Willow King. The essence soul crystal core of the myriad demon ancient tree is hidden in the crown of the tree. However, although I have found its whereabouts, I have no way to obtain it. Demon Lord, with the myriad demon banner in your hand, you can definitely refine the essence soul crystal core of the myriad demon ancient tree. Pine Cypress King said respectfully. Very well. Take me to the essence soul crystal core of the myriad demon ancient tree. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Boom. Ling Xiao waved the myriad demon banner in his hand. In an instant, chaotic light filled the air and enveloped the entire myriad demon secret trove. The huge palace and the Supreme Emperor array turned into a stream of light and merged into the myriad demon banner. Ling Xiao only knew that everything in the myriad demon secret trove was a part of the myriad demon banner after refining the myriad demon banner. Especially the Supreme Emperor array. If activated by the myriad demon banner, it could kill a heavenly venerable expert and even trap an imperial emperor for a period of time. The myriad demon secret trove flew into the myriad demon banner. Ling Xiao and the 3 demon kings also appeared on the myriad demon ancient tree. Bai Feng, Demon Ape King, Ba Ji King and the others appeared in front of Ling Xiao and the other 3 demon kings. Ling Tian, where is my father? Bai Feng and the others were shocked by the disappearance of the myriad demon secret trove. Before they could react, Ling Xiao appeared in front of them. Bai Feng's eyes were filled with shock as he stared at Ling Xiao and asked. You mean the White Dragon King? Of course, he's dead by my hands. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Impossible. My father's combat strength is extraordinary and invincible. Do you think you can kill my father? Ling Tian, if you know what's good for you, kneel down and accept your death. Otherwise, I'll make you beg for death. Bai Feng's face was ferocious as he spoke. How dare you? How dare you be so rude to the Demon Lord? King Songbai's eyes flashed and he suddenly roared. Boom! It was as if there was a vast sound wave that contained the power of heaven and earth pressing down on Crown Prince Bai Feng. The aura was extremely sharp. Bai Feng's face changed as he felt an invincible force pressing down on him, causing his primordial spirit to tremble violently. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was directly sent flying.